I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Flame it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Bigger they are, harder they fall.
We return to the dark. We return to the alleyway of a corner street at the very edge of a wall, bisecting the city into into this larger two-third half which you're currently in. Seratiuni, a city with a weird name, in a northeastern side of the continent, up to the northernmost side of the Valandris range. A long series of mountains which runs all the way down the middle of the continent across Turtle Lake, around Turtle Lake, on either side, the Shattered Teeth and the Valandris range. You are on the eastern side of the continent, struggling with the unraveling mind of a centaur that you have to deal with. Oscar is the last person to see the incident. So I'm going to give Cicero 30 seconds with Moki to do whatever you want, as you notice that there is a freshly killed, stomach split open. You can realize he's in two pieces, but the kind of inner organs are still kind of half stranded together. This was a sloppy kill, maybe unintentionally, maybe not Moki.
Is he breathing?
Definitely not Moki.
You kind of are noticing Moki's still looking at the wall past him, like he's not looking down at the creature, and he's standing right in front of the standing right over his hind legs, 10 feet away from the body. It's a tanned, red-scaled dragonborn with scholarly robes. Physical appearance, it is Viper, but with no frills on the side of his face, and the red scales are more like an auburn brown with a little tint of red, where Vipers were very kind of burnt red.
Moki saw the one minority in this city and was like, kill.
His
red scale.
His dull grey, brown, and green robes darken in the shade of the inner stains across his chest and stomach, which grow more and more visible as Cicero reaches. You can hear Oscar, basically faster than you. I'm pretty sure.
I think we're at the exact same speed, but I can jump sometimes.
The footsteps have been audible this whole time, and now they are getting closer, but you...
35.
Then you are. You're just ahead.
I can jump.
Cicero.
An extra 30 feet, and sometimes.
The Dragonborn Man, there are smooth portions of what look like folders. Not books, but folders that are spilled out onto the floor. They're scattered a decent way away from where his body is. But they are at the corners of those pages, stained with blood as well.
Moki. Move a bit closer.
You can hear distant sounds, pleasant revelry in different buildings, but this corner, this edge of an alleyway you were in is kind of dead quiet, and it leaves you, the closer you get to it, the more you feel isolated in this city.
Does he within visibility of the street?
Sorry?
Is he within visibility of the street?
It's kind of like an alleyway with a bend that leads to an enormous wall. So visible to the street, yes, but only for about a 5 or so second period. Like in terms of there's a decent kind of curve in this alley. So there are people that can see him in the distance, but the body, even to you, isn't visible until you walk half, let's say 30 feet into the street and then kind of curve around. The body is from coming out of a building, what you assume is the right side of the series of houses. Luckily, probably the best position for this body to fall in. For for no one on the whole street to be able to see this. You can see the centaur, but you can't see the body, not until you curve. Oscar cannot see this body yet. What do you do?
Put my hands up like he's a wild animal.
Okay, so you step past the body. Moki's hands on the wall. He's shut up.
Shut up! And walk up there.
Okay, Moki, your brain is pulsing because you heard your father's voice. And you still hear it distantly yelling like the memories when you were a kid, and he would yell to bring the herd back together. That distant echoing through an entire city. Words that are just too muffled, too distant for you to hear. It's just a peripheral sound of your father kind of yelling at you and at your brother, but it doesn't make sense, but he's yelling at you. And then Cicero's voice kind of cuts in through that like a knife and kind of shears the side of your face where you can hear that echoing not stop, but just kind of blur more as this voice in close proximity becomes audible.
Flinch from Cicero and open my bloodshot eyes.
What are you afraid of? There's nothing here that hurts you.
You look around, you didn't even see the body. Your eye height is just looking up. You just see distantly two footsteps, two different people walking, not down your way, but just past.
What do you see when you look at me?
Back up.
You don't see your father. There's no sign of him. There's no sign of his wings. They would emerge from a one-story building street like you're in, but no.
See a man. Pick a name already.
Look down at the corpse. What did you do?
So red.
Why did you run?
I saw red.
Don't you do it anymore?
Not right now.
I don't.
You're kind of hearing him still very, very distant. You know, the amount of distance you've run from him, you're still hearing him like he's back there. You know, blocks and blocks away from you at this point. But the more you talk to Cicero, the kind of more just, you're not sure if you're isolating it from like you did as a kid. You took his voice that would echo through a forest and you try to isolate the sound. You think you're doing that now. You're just choosing not to hear them. You're listening to Cicero. You're trying to hear someone that is alive. You're pretty sure.
Back then, in the entrance to the cave, when I was looting, I asked if you were okay and you didn't say anything.
It's fine.
I should have pushed further, I'm sorry.
We're
I feel like we're missing information.
just need to go back to Kings Bay. Get my daughter over and you're fine.
Your wife left. All of your tribe were angry at you when you came in. What did you do to make them hate you?
It's fine.
Rookie, this isn't anything to be ignored.
Oscar, you hear ignored.
We can't help you if you don't say anything.
You can't see Cicero, but you can see Moki's real.
I think you do.
I can do this myself.
Do what?
Fix it.
What is there to fix?
Everything.
Oscar sees two mothers with two sons, young boys that look like they're in night training, look down the alleyway, look at you, look confused, look a little frightened, and just keep walking hastily.
I just need to get my head together. Get back.
We're not going to do that here. We're definitely not going to do that in Kings Bay.
Go on the way.
What do you want? You want your tribe back together? Your tribe is gone. Or at least you're part of it. Your wife left. She left you. She didn't even go after your kids. I'm missing information I need.
I don't have anything.
Why did they hate you? Why was your father mad at you?
Moki, you hear whispering in your ear like a voice that is standing next to you. A voice that matches your height. A voice that you don't remember. So it's weird that it's so comforting. deeply feminine. It's okay to tell him you lost. And it whispers into you, and you look because you think there's someone there, and it's just confusing. You barely remember what she said. You don't know who it is.
Deep breath.
You feel your heart ache, like there's a pain inside, like a void inside you. It reminds you of Famji.
I went past Cicero.
It wasn't her voice.
It was my fault.
What was your fault?
My tracks. My carelessness that led them to me. One does.
Led who? Where?
My fault. I left my family. I broke it.
You got captured. That's what you told me.
I let them. It's my fault. I can't. I have to fix this.
There's nothing left to fix.
Can't have nothing.
You don't have nothing. My children are still alive. I'm still alive. My wife is still alive. You're still alive.
I don't feel like
You are. Omiratu.
You move closer.
Put my hands on your chest. The heart that beats in here is the heart of a man, yes? Not a beast. There's beast in there, but you're a man, no?
Cicero, I want you to make me a will saving throw. As you feel, when you touch his hide, there is something under his skin that wriggles. And you touch it. It squirms through your hand. DC 10.
No, I did.
You will yourself to not revolts in disgust, basically. That's a physical deformity. That's not him. That's the beast.
you're right. I can't undo the mistake. I can't pretend that nothing happened. I can make amends. I'll save my daughter. Try and save my son. Get forgiveness. Absolution is already dead.
Nothing to forgive. Nothing, man.
Of course.
Moki. Nothing all that. Okay. There's nothing to forgive.
It's about 15 feet away from you. 30 feet away from you. Cicero's breached
You didn't break anything. You didn't put yourself in chains.
Moki, make a perception check for me. You're gonna be DC 20.
25.
Wow. You look in the blood pool that is formed next to that dragonborn, and you notice there is a shadowed figure at a different angle in the alleyway that you can't see, but you see him through the reflection of the blood.
Stare it. I'll just work on fixing myself. Let's go. Should stay here.
Where?
I'm gonna go to King's Bay somehow. I can't do anything toward that
I
end.
need more help than I can give.
You're giving enough.
I need to move this.
Super great.
Well, that would fit you, unfortunately. You're looking at the back alley. I mean, you do see what is kind of at the edge of the gutter, a kind of cobbled gutter at the edge of the street that you're at.
It's a human city. No
This goes out on the street. Just have them move it further into the alley.
These are 5 foot wide alley. They are the thinnest possible. Moki's body at a very cramped.
If it were at the entrance alley, I'll just pick our pieces up and throw them in.
Is that that you're gonna just watch him walk over.
Picks it up and eats them.
Leaves a small trail with the two separate blood trails spatters as he throws it.
One got hooked on the light lamp. Oh, shit.
Not even a light lamp, just one of the alleyway hooks that would normally be used to hold some sort of like outdoor like a hang line.
Pick up some of the papers he dropped.
Okay.
Anything.
The guy get his intestines slid out.
You see, top, maybe one of the top files. You see probably two separate files. One that says Golden Ring refundments and payment from the Krueler Assembly.
So it's probably a messenger.
You see another word in there, the development of new Reclamation's medicines with a symbol brand. You see title words like in kind of the heading fonts. These look like records for either a school or court. I'm not sure.
Okay. Did he seem like a magic man or just like a dude with a bag?
He seemed like he had kind of scholarly robes.
Okay.
And the Krueler Assembly that you're aware of is the academy that's at this. It's on the opposite side of the city that you're at from right now. Midday he could have been someone heading home from work or someone that is taking a late day shift. It is rare to see a Dragonborn in the human district, but you didn't see any in the main street actively, but it's kind of this is kind of a bit of a surprise. I mean, it makes sense maybe why he's one of the seedier parts of the city, but you can smell and you cough with the smoke that still kind of lingers from the exploded building and airship that kind of lingers 3 or 4 streets back from where you are currently. That smell, that sound, that burning pile of smoke is still very visible to you all. And as Oscar has been kind of guarding the streetway, you've been noticing more soldiers exiting from that area where the major drama that you were involved with happened. They're not heading towards that anymore. They're all seeming to be heading back into the city. So, interestingly, they're not particularly paying attention to the side streets while they're walking back to their posts after investigating the incident. You've got a kind of a good, a city in distress, minorly, for maybe the next 2 hours. People are on high alert, but the guards are over-precautious, but also nearsighted.
At this point,
You see,
lost you back in the crowd there. How are we?
He noticed me. What triggered this?
you see just a blood trail on the ground that leads onto the cobblestone side street and into an alley.
Triggered what?
And maybe what looks like one small, little, large worm that could also be an intestine in the blood.
You started seeing your father when they got up. And then you freaked out and ran away.
I'm going to start taking perception check.
I don't know what's going on, but I am
Do you see him now?
not.
As you're hearing Oscar talk, you're kind of now taking in 2 sensory things at the same time. Now you can't hear your father. Maybe it's just because you're overstimulated.
Not yet.
Are you sure this is your kid?
There's no one else around when I got here.
No, it's
You notice.
I'm going to pick up the small one. So now this is...
Where'd you bring him?
It's like a small one that was in the blood.
Yeah, you grab it, and at first it's covered in blood, but Oscar kind of not noticing, because, it's directly in front of you, it's just from you noticing it's kind of like tilting in the direction of Moki. It's covered in blood, you can't see any blackness on it, but it is just a bloody worm. At first you thought it was just hanging, but no, that's it's a visible pull, like a magnetic pull.
No idea about it. Still alive.
And you just squish the center, and the 2 halves fall, hit the blood. The blood is kind of slowly sifting into the gutter, where in about 50 minutes or so, it might start to drain.
I did never see the worm enter him.
She's like, you develop on that. Hopefully, this is just safe.
No, I don't know where.
Looking down the street. I don't know where I'm going.
Just stay there.
Yeah.
Loki, as Oscar looks back, he is maybe 30 feet off the street.
Oscar, the crowd. Loki, the crowd is busy too. It might be worthwhile to wash your feet.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You see two sounds of young voices, bright, a little confused. Moki, you immediately hear them like track from two different sides of the main street towards you. You're just listening past the sound. You're trying to hear your father, and the kind of sound, the stimulus around you they're all nervous and they're all on edge, but they're all weirdly like not noticing you, just coincidentally. And then these two kids notice you first, and then you see a few other people spot you. Then you notice a few other people spot you, and there's about 10 people in the proximity that now notice you as these two kids come up to you. As Oscar sees one from one direction.
And you're back into the alley. Wait from.
Wait! Oh, what are you doing, mister? Come on, can I have a ride, please? And you hear one of those children get snatched. Don't talk to him. You don't know what. And that's all you hear. One of those pull right. And the other one is just like slowly, just really carefully walking 10 feet into the alley. Please, mister. You're a man, right? I wanna ride.
Oscar was walk up to try to meet the kid.
Okay, yeah, you cross right beside, hit Moki's chest, and then the boy just stops approaching, sees you now he's definitely outnumbered. So he now notices the other two legs behind him, and I didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to.
Are you
I'm Jacob.
trying to be a knight, Jacob?
Oh no, I'm not old enough yet. I'm not old enough. My brother is though. He's in night training.
Right.
I thought we got to ride things like you, but then I was told that they're just normal horses.
No, a lesson to learn is that centaurs shouldn't be ridden. Regular horses should.
Oh. Oh, you can't befriend them though?
You certainly can befriend them, but there's always a time and place. Where are your parents?
Oh, they,
That's right, point them out to me.
Yeah. I think I know they went into the bakery over there. I just got a hot cocoa. He says you can now that you look at him, you can see there's a little bit of like darkness in the corner of his cheeks where he's probably had something very hot, very cacao-y.
I will slowly lead them back towards the bakery.
Okay, I mean you lead him in the direction that the parents aren't invisible at, and he's like, oh no, they're not there. I mean, it's and Cicero, you hear them slowly kind of trail a little bit away, but Moki has kind of stopped. You're at Moki's rear.
Cicero, I forgot to mention, I might be like a wanted criminal here. Or escaped slave, whatever they branded me of.
You specifically?
Yes. I am unique.
You're pretty sure it's here. I mean, you never got you're fat. You're like you had a sack over your head, so you're aware that this is the same vibe before you went underground, and for 10 years you weren't let back out ever. You went through a stream underground and left.
Yeah.
This feels like it's the place for sure.
Okay. Well, we talked to a bunch of guards and they didn't instantly attack you.
Maybe it's just the more undercity element that'll come after me instead of overcity.
You notice the guards have always made a cautious eye towards Moki, but never has it been aggressive. Not like the rural towns, not like Krueler. They're less defensive here.
They were so nice and cool. No one even tried to kill you. Impressive.
Except when
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's a nice place. They're really nice there, right? Look, if you see anything or hear anything that is even slightly suspicious, just let us know. No matter how little of interest it is. If you killed that guy, that means your problems don't just affect you and your clan anymore. Come on, look up.
Okay.
you know that there are still 6 hoof prints that are stained with blood on the cobblestone. That is it.
Damn.
That is it. That is all the trace
Need my
of...
bucket and mop.
What's the chance that the detective is going to be in the city?
Very high.
Very high.
Most cities. Even west, they have divination wizards. More father than any detective.
Oh, it's this dark.
I didn't believe.
That is literally a spell. You can't do that.
Wait, yeah, no, I didn't believe.
Whose footprint is this?
That's almost. Well, I can just, come up with the corpse and Oscar killed it.
You, as Oscar,
Any bullshit though.
you walk a kid very carefully through what is kind of it has become a busy street due to the incident. There are horses that you're just surprised that this kid crossed the road by himself, or he's just very good at crossing.
What's this child?
There are. He looks like maybe like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Like actually probably too young to be left alone. And visibly human, or that you can tell. But he's got a little like a little beanie with 2 little like hangy straps and like a little suit jacket vest. The vest looks like it's for his older brother and has been handed down to him. But you get
Steal his cocoa.
this like really strange feeling, a connection that is sewn into you in the last 12 hours. Your blade is kind of you're noticing a difference now between a dormant and kind of awakened state. Your interaction with the child kind of seemingly like woke him. That you're surprised, but he's not communicating with you. You just feel this kind of awareness, like 2 more eyes that kind of ethereally are appearing on you, and that's how it kind of feels. And it's not until the boy leads, and then you're noticing it's actually one of the finer bakeries on the main road. You're more than welcome to enter the Devil's Toast. But as you walk inside, you're seeing that there's a line from entering the doorway all the way in, like a wait list sort of thing through the shop. And he's like, they're probably like halfway or like to the. I'm just going to go in. Thank you. If I see him again, I won't try to jump on his back straight away. I'll tell other kids to do that too, because there's like, wow, they're in the whole city, and he like occasionally, he flies over buildings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he's a horseman. He runs the academy. He runs the academy.
Magic Kando.
Oh yeah.
Yes, if you do see one, you need to show your pride and say, oh no, and they will show respect back.
Oh, that's such a cool word. What does honor mean?
It's showing dignity to yourself. Or it's being proud of yourself.
I don't really know what the feeling of proud is. Is that when like your family is like celebrating because your brother gets into school, and you feel nervous?
In a way, it's the feeling where you're happy for your brother because he goes into school.
Oh yeah! Well, yeah, I'm happy for him.
But that is,
I'm scared I won't see him much, but I mean, I'm happy.
in a way, that's a feeling of pride. You're proud of him.
Oh. It's really nice to meet you, sir.
No worries.
What's your name?
My name is Oscar.
I already said my name. So
Your name is Jacob.
yeah.
Yes, it was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to when you're a knight. Or do you not want to be one?
I want to protect my mom and dad.
Tell me your father will promise.
I don't like it when they're scared, but my brother's fighting for us, and if he comes back and he tells me some cool stories, then yeah, I'll join.
How old is your brother?
He's counts again. Visibly takes like 15 seconds to count with his hands. I think he's like 15. Yeah, he's been in there for about a year now.
Go for it, kids.
Yeah. I only just learned how to count.
Well, you did a good job.
Yeah. You know, we all, Mom and Dad are good, but they're waving at me. I gotta go, mister.
Of course. Take care.
Thank you. Walks inside, and you feel your sword suddenly, at that moment when the door separates you from the child, you feel a kind of a guilt that is really quickly kind of covered or like crushed inwards. It's not yours. And your weapon whispers to you, there's not much more time we can spare. I don't know what this thread is, but the scent of them is here. We need to look for them.
I don't trust your eyes.
Back the way we came. Find your friends. And then you feel a kind of dormancy, a kind of an eyes closing again. It's amusing.
I'll tell her and get back to
You notice that Cicero has
way down front.
has kind of stepped alongside Moki and is just were in conversation. We're going to quickly move to Jonathan and Sebastian. Sebastian the Tinkerer.
And then we're on close together.
There's so much technology around here. I know that there are so many places we can improve out here and maybe sell some of it. But I know that there are priorities, selling the gear with the cart we've got. Once we drop it off, Jonathan, if you need me to, I'm happy to stay and organize the long-term trade if you need to be finding your own way through the city to maybe buy yourself some things. Looks like in this body you might be a little not prepared.
Yes, I am not very accustomed to this body still.
Rubbing the gem in your hand still. The only item you still possess.
I feel a little bit out of it. If you can take care of trade, I would appreciate it.
Once we find a spot, I will be happy to wait.
Although we need to wait for the others to come back.
Well, if we're not so far away from where they were, I mean, the street,
And he points back, and you can't see the street from where he's pointing, but visibly that he's pointing to a place that's 2 blocks away from you, and you know that that's not that far.
well, this is probably the optimal time when we set up trade. If you want to head back and find them, or I can just kind of wait in the general area and move back and forth between our dealings and the spot that we left each other at. I can do the kind of back and forth if need be.
Right.
Well, I wish to let you do your whatever you.
I'm gonna do a perception check just to look around.
Yeah.
To see if there's anyone staring at us. Or I see anything sketchy. That's all. I think that's 12, but I'm just gonna double check.
Plus 37.
12. That's 12.
Yeah, that's 12.
Okay, come on.
You notice that we give them a negative.
You notice that there's about 3 people that are actively staring at you, but Sebastian has the attire. Obviously he looks like someone who's gone through a battle. He is the least physically wounded out of all of you. He took a few arrows, but did not take any large battle wounds. So his attire still kind of fits this area, and the gear on his body. 2 characters that do kind of stand out, but because Sebastian's beside you, it stands out a lot less. You think that people will notice you probably wherever you go, just because of how pale you are. But,
I see that we're getting some attention.
I guess that's I hope we can find an indoor trading area or post or something like that.
I heard the 2 of them were looking at that church over there.
The church, I mean, this would be the avenue of invention. The tabernacle is in front of it. We can ask them for what deals, or we could go to the other stores behind them. I'm sure that there's a lot of crafters here.
I think Oscar was talking about wanting to investigate that.
Or should we wait for him for that?
I think that we should find some side area where we should rest a bit.
You notice that, like, to the right of the tabernacle, where you can see that there's 4 large kind of hallways that exit the kind of central weird-shaped building. Behind those long corridors, you see off to the side, near the wall of the outer side of the city, on the inside. You notice there's about 4 lining up buildings that all look kind of actually more sandstone with brick, and curtains that kind of hang, tops that hang out the front of the stores, and you can see not armorers but smiths, like a series, a collection of maybe all of them are smiths, or 2 shop fronts definitely look like they have the smith equipment, and then just inside, obviously these are large kind of open archways that lead into a building that you can see has that kind of glowing half of a heating pot on the inside, a heating furnace probably. So you catch not as many people around you, like you don't really notice how many people could be staring at you, because there could be a lot more than you see. As buildings are all around you, you shuffle towards one of the smaller side trading posts, and you notice that kind of the outer edge one is the smallest, and they progressively kind of get bigger. About 3 buildings along, it becomes 2 stories, and they kind of run 2-story along all the way along the wall up kind of the northern side of the city. The Avenue of Invention. Passively, you thought it might be more filled with people. It's not. It's maybe like walking down this main avenue, which looks like a main thoroughfare, you see about 15 people. Everywhere else you've been walking has been about 45 to 50. Most of the people walking down this avenue look either like well-equipped businessmen, they look like people working the job and have walked back and forth from lunch break or something like that, and maybe 1 or 2 soldiers that are kind of guarding the outer edges of the sites you can see.
All right, let's wait here.
Well, this is a good spot. I mean, you're kind of parked beside the tabernacle, the large church, but on the outer wall, you can kind of put your back to it. You're not, like, there's no windows on the outside. You're kind of in a safe kind of alley spot.
So, Sebastian, what made you create such weaponry of destruction?
Here is my father's blueprints. He was an inventor in this city. He used to work for the Clockwork Concord. I do believe that organization was disbanded when their leader did something mischievous. He was one of the first sentient automatons, something like that. Maybe just automatons. Yes, but with his blueprints, I was able to create this kind of like a first edition collector's item that he had been testing in his workshop when I believe he was one of the professors or trained professors after working as an engineer for many years in this avenue. I believe he worked in this avenue. It looks very different from...
Well, since you're more up to date with
Oh, yes, of course. You have the tongue of the... Oh, maybe you don't.
Well, I was just wanting to ask, what is the no currency? How does this work exactly?
Trade is obviously has been a kind of stable fundamental of most of our cities. Keter Sanctuary has been very good about trading and purchasing, but the coin is, well, let's just say the coin can be more barterable on our side, where trading can be more beneficial on their side. It just depends. The reason I wish you to be here, at least to start off, I know that you are good at talking in this sort of business deal, but I do not know if your body is an adequate choice for communicating with them.
Oh, don't worry about that. I have the ability to shapeshift a little bit with this hat. The real problem is I do not know the value of this stuff, because I am not aligned with the economy in this kingdom. Could you please explain to me how much this would be worth, at least so I have some basic threshold.
And I think he does explain it to you because in the hours of rest you took to recoup, and after the battle, Jonathan obviously being exempt, only witnessing kind of the return to Seratuni. Keter, could you tell me how much value you have obtained in that cart left in last episode?
Yeah, the 23,000 is the armor, and 7,000 just coins.
There you go. Okay. So that's what you told from Sebastian after all the calculations that we did last episode.
23,000 gold, we believe, of quality +2 material, and I don't know why I said +2, super durable material, and 4 or 5 sacks of gold. We can count that out later. They will want us to count it out to be sure that it is all gold. I believe it was.
Alrighty then.
We will trundle this over.
Sebastian helps kind of push it at the back while you kind of walk it forward to front.
He also goes on that to just help. A single one that has been muted and cleaned.
Yes. One of the small ones, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Are you also matching his height? Have you done the cap of geysers and you now look like a gnome?
Yes.
So physically, you have to kind of watch yourself because as you walk forward, your body can look like it's phasing through things. And would you say you're 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall? What is the height you're going for? As what creature type you choose? 2.5. Because if you're a gnome, yeah, it's like 2.5 to 3.
It's a small almost, so I would be 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit taller.
So you're matching you enter a building and you leave the cart out the front. This is a shabby clay fire shop. It is a clay inside, but a very warm entry as you walk into the kind of breath of scorched air. This room is running at about 45 degrees temperature. Your whole body that's invisible is sweating. So you've got about 10 minutes before the dripping of your rear half will become noticeable.
It's never be a watch.
You can see lying on the bench just in front of you, just displaced is a massive halberd that's just like thick headpiece, ornamental on the side, and just seemingly bent over the large hearth clay fire pit.
Looking at
There's a guy.
who is what type of
You're talking like
dwarf.
from visibly from your angle, it's just kind of like the shadow. Do you have dark vision as a centaur? Moki, do you have dark vision as a centaur?
There we will have vision.
Okay. There is a heart, there is low-lit vision. You have a very good outline of a tall humanoid figure. The head is a bit weirdly shaped.
I'm rather retarded.
Just too wide to be human. Too wide to be elf. Too tall to be dwarf.
Horrific.
It's huge. But no, I mean, the head's about this big. Like, it's a big, chunky head, and on probably an average 6-foot humanoid body. I mean, he's a bit taller than
Must
you.
get bullied on the God's living. They must have problems making functional friendships and relationships.
And you hear, excuse from Sebastian, excuse me, sir. And you see curving the curled head of front horns of a dragonborn smith. You can see.
Curls, I was like, that's Minotaur.
You can see actually stringy curled hair that runs around curled kind of ram horns. They look really like ornamental. They go way more up, and you didn't notice them because they are kind of like dug into the front of the face, way more like tiefling horns. Good day, sirs. And Sebastian is like shocked. Didn't. Oh! I am Egrin.
Egrin. Well, my name is Jonathan Necrodomus. Nice to meet you.
I
would tell you my last name, but you wouldn't be able to say it.
That is all.
It doesn't work. The handshake you did does not work. It does. Absolutely no way.
He reaches down.
He reaches for the head.
So you, as a centaur, in illusory form, you reach down, you lean down. This is a hand motion. I'm going to say sleight of hand.
A sleight of hand.
You are trying to make your hand seem lighter than it is.
About performance. Wait.
Yes.
No.
Performance doesn't work against standard mic.
It's close. I would almost.
That was dancing and stuff.
Sleight of hand, that's only about you.
Okay.
But, wait, do I have a rank in it? I got a rank in it.
If he was bigger, doesn't it matter?
Okay. I will. Yeah, it's going to be. This is just based off his perception ability to detect the touch.
You get a will save against it.
Will save against what?
If you interact with the climber.
Oh, that's a okay.
Direct line.
That's exactly what it would be.
This guy's so.
I want it to be contested because at least this is an act. You're the one initiating it. I think it's respectful to say that you have thought of this ahead of time.
I don't think he did. I'm not gonna let John think. That single bullet went through his head when he did that stuff.
Well, I mean, you thought for it.
No, he used to extend to a body. He's like, no, I'm normal dude.
We're giving him as much leeway as we can to begin with. This could change very fast.
Disguise itself gives me a +10 to my disguise check.
That's a boy.
A disguise check.
No.
You can add. You can add.
You're holding his hand.
You're grabbing his hand with a hand that doesn't fit the hand of the body.
Yeah, but do you want me to do my disguise check?
I will let you add your disguise bonus to the roll. So that puts it at a 23, right?
Oh, my disguise bonus?
No, just the 10. Just
Okay,
the
19 then.
Okay, it's not a disguise bonus. You don't get to add your whole disguise modifier. You get to add the 10.
Okay.
So 13 to 23.
It's 23, okay.
And I rolled a nat 18, so I'm going to just double check on the base. Let's look up Smithy's stat sheet.
I give me a +9 for disguise.
No, we've discussed this. This is now the third time.
You were clearly an arm. You decided to touch him like a fool.
If you didn't handshake him, it would be a disguise check.
Yeah.
No, I did handshake him. I wouldn't be.
If you let Sebastian do the hand talking, but yeah, exactly. You're not trying to be rude. I agree. This can work well.
Unfortunately, the major weakness of illusion spells is touch.
Don't touch people.
You rolled a 23? Sorry, you got total of 23, right? 13 plus 10?
Yep.
Okay. I rolled an 18 plus 4, 22.
Okay.
Wow. You've done it.
Because these are, this is a Dragonborn who's done some stuff. He's like semi.
Oh, so sorry. Yes, just not used to shaking a hand this small.
Rears himself back up, reaches over your invisible upper half. He crests your shoulder as a centaur to reach towards Sebastian, and you kind of duck down, shy away. Shake Sebastian over your back.
I feel like it's like a racially motivated hate crime if you reach over a gnome to handshake someone.
Yeah, I know. It kind of felt wrong to me as well. I was like, well, this is kind of inappropriate.
We are in the middle of opening the smith for the afternoon. Is there some work you wish to order ahead of time?
Well,
Something small for your size?
we have brought some spoils of war, and we wish to sell or trade them, and asking if your smithy would like some for a fair price.
For reasonable price. I have a couple jobs to do, but I can certainly make the time for trade if that is what you're promising. I might be able to, if you're wanting product, I might be able to fit you in later in the evening, but other than if it's just selling trade, well, by all means, lead me to the product.
Of course.
You see him take off, unclip a bib from around his neck. That now you can see a kind of shirtless, deep brown scales. When he walks outside, you notice they're not brown; they're black. This is a black scaled dragonborn that you can see actually has some interesting kind of there's like a kind of dark brownish. Maybe it's a kind of like a tint or stain or something, but he does have this on the shoulders, especially this kind of like dark brown singe to black scales. Walks outside, looks to his left, and sees his nails, long black kind of clawed hands, which he is very delicate with touching most of the equipment he was using, but curves the corner and just kind of stands there for a minute looking at the pile.
Sorry, I don't think I can help you.
Walks back inside and closes the door.
Brilliant.
Wait, closes inside or?
Yeah, walked you guys outside so you can see the product, and closes the door on you.
That went horrible. I wonder why this happened. Should we probably ask around?
Standard Smith don't have 30,000 gold to give you.
So, Sebastian, maybe I can just say that we're willing to sell a small portion of it. I think we might have just
I mean, that was my intention, was to sell a small portion. I didn't think you would be able to buy it.
He just knocks on the door. Why don't you move over to the next shop and we'll just make our way down the street and Jonathan, tell them we wish to sell you a portion of our products. Don't over embellish what we're trying to do here.
Give me 30 million gold.
But Sebastian looks back at you and does this like, good job, kid.
So I have some coins. Could you change the for your money, please? 10,000.
Also, how long did your camp of guys last? Is it an hour?
It's as long as I wear the hat.
Oh, okay, great.
So
Okay.
they just see I have a weird hat on.
Give me the.
I love it. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Hey, it's a hat.
You're talking hat.
$800 dude.
$800 dues.
$800.
I mean, that's pretty good to pay for a permanent enchantment. I like that.
Well, unfortunately, it's at will. So every
It is at will. So every 30 minutes, yes.
30 minutes.
Every 30 minutes.
That's fine. That's manageable.
That's fine, because that meeting was like...
Yeah.
It also means you can use a lot of sleep.
That's true. That doesn't really matter.
Or in like a 2-hour long court trial. I probably wouldn't do that.
I just wave your hands and like...
You move to the Silver Chimney, and I will describe to you that you're going to, over the course of the next basically 30-ish minutes, while the group organizes themselves, you hear from Sebastian, who comes back to you, tells you that this was a blacksmith who grew up in the impoverished side, has money, but does not have the form or currency to obtain a large portion of gear. He can get up to 500 gold of armor, which, he said the arrangement is being made, that is being fit in, but we can take, the gear is still being moved with you guys when you want to move it, but you just park it in an alleyway for convenience.
Where are you going to pull off one of the blades? It's not armor anymore, is it?
I'm just taking a few greaves.
Right. So it compromises the one of the metal. In fact, I don't think it would be +2 anymore once you pull it apart.
I don't know.
But you pull it off the bodies, you can bring it apart, but yeah, you're right. Magical enchantment, it's got its own thing.
I think we should sell this to the guards. I think they would actually have a way to buy it.
Here's a bunch of armor. None of you know.
Guns.
Please give me
Give me
one.
all your money right now. Guns.
Well, we did walk past a few of the blue officers. We could obviously call into them and...
Yes, the problem is we get less money from it.
Yes, of course. It would be an easy trade on the other side
We
of
had
it.
30,000 gold coins.
There was more sacks than you had effectively to bring with you. There was a dragon hoard of gold accumulated from all of Fort Nagrom and most of what your father had gained. You didn't grab more than 7k because you didn't have the sacks for it. I think there was a 1k per sack.
We had a card, we just put
You put all of the weight. You put Jonathan's body that was unconscious, and you put 25,000 gold worth of armor on the car.
I said,
that was 7 breastplates and 1 axe.
I said,
No, there was way more than that.
We didn't take more, we only took the magic armor, the +2 on
I
it.
said, armor worth more because currently martial law, therefore worth more.
There was also lances. There was +2 lances. You included all of that.
Okay, well, I
It's on my list. What we bought.
Those are posture lights.
Because I remember
Yeah.
calculating the weight of gold coins.
Well, I think that was a part of it because there was +2 short swords, there was +2 lances.
Do you mind if I edit the last episode out?
It's not, yeah, not sure.
Either way, it doesn't matter because it's either gold or it's armor worth the exact same.
Sure. The weight of the cart was full. That's what last episode we were talking.
That's all worth the same amount.
After going around, is there like any franchises or are they all just private sort of businesses?
Yeah. One looks like I mean, you go past the Silver Chimney and then you find there's kind of like a central plaza at the very back corner of the Avenue of Invention. The Potter Plaza, you notice, where there is a shabbier, maybe more shabby than the one at the edge of the street, clay black straw roof that's kind of like on the outside, just on the outside of the plaza, but is attached to it, is functioning as a kind of, we're not trying to heat up the plaza, but we want it to be as a communal part of it. So the straw thing doesn't look that good. It's probably not. It's probably just like an outer straw layer, or there's been some damages to the building, and the straw is because the roof has been pulled off. But you see the smoke chimney. You see a kind of it's a wealthier corner. And I want you. I'm not going to make you worry about doing the sleight of hand again. I want you to make a diplomacy check for me.
All right.
Yeah, you're.
You're welcome. Damn. That is the absolute worst I can get, which is 17.
17. Okay. That's right.
We lose 3 times a day. You get robbed on what?
It's not necessarily that. I think you're charismatic enough to hold back from selling any more product than they would be willing to, you're able to sell product to a point where you know that they can't take the capacity of it anymore. So you take 3,400 gold worth of armor
They keep
off the balance.
Hey, pal, give me all of it. No, give me a 50% discount.
It's kind of like that. They change it from, they give you basically 3,400 worth of the material that is equal to, but then the rest of it would be 10% less, but with store credit instead of actual gold.
You're going to be here for the rest of your life. You'll get a lifelong gold.
It's probably 40-ish minutes, but you guys will be getting to them easily kind of at the rear end of this if you're making your way just straight back to them. You don't know where they are exactly, but okay.
Yeah, 3 people.
So 500 gold plus 3,400. That's $3,900 worth of armor out of your 23,000.
Okay, well, if you find them and you need help, you don't know where to find me.
You've reached the crossroad now where
I'm going to go check the trading area. Let's play to the side.
you're basically both right there. So you notice that you both exit as you separate onto the main road area.
Oscar, it'll be better if we had Jonathan anyway.
Queen's Road.
To give them more help.
How important is this on a scale of side quests?
Just sort of making a perception check, just for scouting awareness.
You're fine, very good.
I think it's more important than King's Bay being burning.
You notice 2 smithies visibly at the far end of the street on the opposite kind of angle from the block you're at.
People that could ask questions.
Would you say the wagon and just a zone?
The wagon was parked around the corner, so not in the main line park, because otherwise, you can get also pinched, because there's nothing securing the armor on the
Can you get on
I think with a 20 perception, you might be able to see there's a corner figure in an alleyway, which might be but that's in the direction of where all of those smiths are. You can see there's one alleyway, there's a figure just kind of standing in the corner
Are there
there.
any distinguishing buildings nearby except for the big building?
Guys, I'm
The big building is kind of now behind you. Ahead of you is the tabernacle, which is kind of a structure you've not really seen before. It's just 4 long corridors going at cardinal angles and a kind of large, almost tower-like central structure.
Okay, let's go. Alright.
Behind that, that's where the smiths
We'll
are.
go. You meet us up later.
If you guys find Scally and you don't want to do it on your own, just come here. I'll bring him here afterwards. Remember on that time limit? We only have
Well, apparently it's more.
about 3.5 hours. I know the magic's on top of so.
I'm sure it's on there.
You've hit the kind of the main, what is called Queen's Road, but you can't see any signs. You are looking at the widest street. And Oscar, you feel the awakened state of your sword kind of reveal itself in your mind. Doesn't speak. Is clearly vigilant. And Cicero, since you break off from these two, the first one you notice leaving the kind of alleyway of one of the side streets in the direction that you were looking, where the smiths are, is Sebastian with the brass backpack.
That's fine. I thought it would be.
But he leads you away from that towards the. It just looks kind of like a large square building with a bunch of small outcropping market stalls. Leads you inside, leads you around the corner. See Jonathan's making some deals. He's inside a building, but you notice that it's not Jonathan, it's not a centaur, it's a small halfling.
But he sees the familiar goddamn hat.
You notice the familiar hat, and before you enter, you hear Sebastian saying,
I believe he's inside there bartering with his normal voice in the long body.
I'm not supposed to sound a specific way or something.
No, I guess maybe a bit more of a light pitch, but who knows?
You made a lot of notes.
No, never.
Maybe they'll make assumptions about the dude. I don't know.
Fine, jeez. Snappy.
you walk inside, he stays outside. Jonathan, you hear the clink of a kind of rattle bell above the door open behind you as Cicero enters. The clink.
So I believe that you want my armor because it is enchanted with a +2. Very expensive. Top of the line. Obviously, we got it as spoils of war from centaurs. Are you interested in actually learning some new enchantments?
Seems like an unnecessary case of
More respectful because if you allow like simple. Yeah, maybe not. There's not many enemies over here either.
like, I don't want to grow something what's on the god of that guy.
But not only do we not have armor, we also have this +2 lance here. This +2 lance is very magical. It can bypass magic resistance.
Cicero walks in and you see there's a kind of a decently young, maybe like mid-20s woman who has a bit of like smeared soot on her face, but she's kind of like flipping the head of a hammer in her hand while she leans back in the chair just listening to Jonathan. She's looking at her hammer,
Malicious.
clearly processing what Jonathan has been spewing at her. She's like, it's more like a fidget thing you can see, but this is like, she has enormous forearms to be able to just like flip a hammer like it's like a badminton bat,
Respectable.
Yeah, look, I think I can do it. I think there's look, I could even take 1,000 gold off that if you'd be, well, no. If you, we're actually looking for some people to, with the guilds, we need some of the mountains mines. We've got some material in there that was supposed to, it doesn't matter. I can give you all. I mean, look, it's most of the coffer's gone, but we'll take all of the magical armor you can get. It's weirdly shaped, and your weapons.
Yes.
Look, I don't know about the weapons. I just don't know.
You can.
You're an incredible salesman. Look, I've never seen a gnome in my life, and I think that you're probably the best salesperson I've met in the last 3 days.
Take away the weapons. We will keep them. Try and find someone else.
No. I mean, look, chuck them in.
Look, the base value of this is 23,000.
23,000.
Is the best price, but we're not selling this all.
I mean,
How much do you want in parts? Originally, we have a lot of scrap metal that you can take.
I mean, look, yeah, always looking for the scrap metal. Look, are you looking for any sort of like custom molds or anything that I can kind of chip a bit of my price off and give you, take more off you and give you something?
Well, if my other associates were here, they would be more helpful for that, but I am unfortunately a magic user, so I do not have anything I need for metal. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, yeah, look, I think...
Actually, I could ask for a good old buckler, if you got one.
That's a shield. Honestly, why are you asking this for a bottle?
I mean,
I'd like to look him up.
You know any dependable lads nearby? Willing to take abuse or for cheap?
we've got the, and you see, well, you see, I mean, there's two different styles of shields. Buckler can be one. You're also noticing the one that look kind of like a weird, like a dragon scale in design, but it's like an enormous shield that's kind of just like an embellishment of a shield to look like a dragon scale. With some interesting like folds and curves.
Is that like a crush shield?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I mean, the one you're looking for, we've got up here, 150 gold.
150?
It's a masterwork piece. It'll do the best protecting that we can kind of make you.
I could.
But I mean, Jesus, look, if you gave me more time, I'd be able to infuse your raw materials with this stuff, and then it'd be even better.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to stay here for too long.
That's okay. We can work fast. To sell and trade.
But I wouldn't mind trading. Let's see.
You'll get out around 1,000 gold worth of armored men. No?
I look, honestly, for...
Let's say for the buckler, I'll take 200 off. So 800 gold.
That's... I'm not even gonna barter with you. I like it. Yeah, let's go. Let's take it.
You take it?
Dude.
Yes, he does.
Okay, I'm not gonna make you do a sleight of hand check just because I'm being nice. I don't want to ruin your first real deal. You managed to offset, let's say,
Pick up the stuff.
I feel
You're
like
going for her.
let's say
you made the mistake of doing it again.
this is technically 3,000, because it was 3,400 she could take, but if you're taking 200 off that means she can still take 200 more, if you get what I mean. So you can give her 3,600 gold worth of armor, and you get the shield.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can still take the 3,400 total. Whatever trade you do over that is kind of like, comes into more bartering base, but
3,600?
3,600 off. I mean, like, these are pretty good materials. Mostly silvers and. Oh, hello. Did you need something?
No, where do you want me to put these?
Rips the hammer on the like puts it onto the table countertop. Just here for me.
We can't make that.
It was empty. One breastplate, bro.
Aye. Oh, Jesus, that's got some gashes in that. Look, it's still usable. Just takes it from the countertop, drags it with one hand. Like, the things that Cicero has to use both hands for, she kind of just muscles it with one arm sideways, like a crane, lowers it, puts it in another pile. And this is probably, at least in this area, one of the smiths just wouldn't trade you at all. The one that Sebastian went back into was willing to give you 500 gold worth of raw material, so that's 4,100 total. But no more smiths are in this avenue of invention. So you might need to start looking into armorers, or there's no armorers in this alleyway either. But so basically, armorers or police.
Off their
The police.
Off the heading back to the area.
Anyone who uses sword.
Is everyone back now?
Sebastian and Cicero side by side.
Oh no, Loki went insane and killed someone, and now they're going to go find and do the soul.
I watched them. They just entered and he points to the structure that is, 90 feet away from you guys, the very edge of it, the tabernacle.
See where they walked in that direction.
Oscar's doing what his magic swords tell him to do.
Sebastian, I heard some people talking about some sort of foundry or so. It's where they make the robots. Maybe you should go there if you have a connection like your father. You could sell this heat metal to them.
Plus ones.
I don't have a connection per se, but I know the words of the trade. I could do my best. I can do my best, yes.
That's not that hard.
It seems like we're going to go fight some heretics of some sort in that church area.
I told them to do some scouting if they needed help to come find us.
I would be happy to help. I don't want you guys to be fighting. Some of you are not fully healed after the battle. I don't want to...
That is true.
Well, both of them are very unwise.
I'm talking about you.
They'll probably just do it themselves.
Are you still injured, right?
Normally.
Okay.
I think we better quickly get towards them, and I know that we won't be able to take this metal with us. Maybe is there like a bank or somewhere we can hold items?
Yes, there's in the plaza. There's the vaults.
Citizenship.
How about you use the gold that we just got to put into a
I think that might be exactly what I can do. Bartering a few gold to give us some access might work.
Alright, so you go start into a vault. You can decide the vault number. We'll quickly go help them do it.
Putting something in a vault that we're going to be here for like 2 hours.
Yes, we can come back.
You see, we have to pay them probably per day, so it will be probably like 5 gold a day for the vault. I mean, it's just a room that they give us as a storage device.
We can come back later. If you want to fully sell it.
Let's just open it into an ATM.
Potter's Plaza. Alright, I will go start making some conversations with the Potters.
Alright.
She a bag of money.
Jonathan picks up the buckler and gives us the zombie.
Okay.
Yes, my boy.
Breastplates.
Well,
There is that
You do feel that your guard has a broken arm, but when you put 2 straps either side of the broken arm, it kind of holds it together. So, like, there's a permanent break here that your undead form has been able to kind of like retach and re-sew, but the bone is shattered.
Every time you feel it, it keeps breaking whenever you box damage.
Yeah, that was the undead that crashed with the ship. The other one got half incinerated by Sebastian. We return to. Let's go. Yeah, like it's completely erased.
walks into it.
You walk. I mean, you can enter the side of the tabernacle, but you don't actually know that that's where they went into. You just saw them walk in that direction. You have to walk into a temple to see if they're in the temple. Is all I mean.
Well, I guess we can. I told them we would wait here in case I needed us.
All right, we should head there first.
No, because I told them we would wait here in case they needed us.
I feel like they're going to just run head first in. That's always what they do.
That's their choice.
I need help to destroy those undead in the city. We kind of need their help. We're not going to do this alone.
Okay.
No, Sister isn't down.
He's got it.
Undead are my preferred enemy.
Especially that Ray.
So make sure that you have your map, so you can see where you are.
Ray's already done with everything in
You are the tabernacle. It's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, too much faith.
Oh, that was
He's one guy.
okay. And then 2 guys. Wow, yeah, really not much difference.
That.
It's not that one.
Alright.
We return.
Like when attacking cults, I think it was supposed to be like a cult of an evil god or something.
Then I will throw my hands up and then I will be paralyzed and stunned because I scanned something.
Oh, right.
Too powerful for us to fight.
That really seems like it's not a good detection spell. It stuns you every time.
I don't know why. Back in the day, I wasn't getting hurt so much, but now I'm just getting it every single use it.
Yeah, some really. Maybe I think magic probably.
I drop both you like a triple spin.
Yeah,
Still totally fine.
maybe that's probably
I think the pole arm is.
that is terrible. Oh god, where is it? Where's the
side to negative buff.
Somewhere over there.
So this is the avenue of invention right here. This is the kind of plaza. This is the plaza here to you guys. This is the plaza. This is the avenue of invention where all the smiths are.
That's so cool.
You're really close. Is all I'm trying to say. So you're kind of like here if you want to be. But this thing here also goes out. Boom, 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 boom. There. So you can be like here or you can be like here. Up to you.
We came from the invention.
Yeah, like this is the edge of the invention street here. There's four. There's a back door here. There's a door there, and there's a door here.
There are 4 front doors.
Biggest front door that looks
They all look even.
I reckon this side because it's the only one that has it.
people like go inside.
There are people going inside. Yeah.
Are they going all 4 of the doors?
It's just like there's about 1 or 2 people traffic on about average about every 30 seconds or so entering and leaving.
You spent 30 minutes counting, and it's divisible by 4. It's completely even.
Okay, but which one's like the main entrance though?
Hard to tell.
Damn, alright. We're gonna look at this and we'll do
I love that. It's like totally trial.
So we cannot be.
Yeah, we can't go in the back door, that's weird. Especially if they're a cult, they're gonna attack us on sight.
I will keep my weapon loaded.
Please do not shoot that in the crowd.
Folded back into
It's
the
a temple, I don't know what's in.
Oh, I thought you said this was a fight.
That could be.
We don't know.
I think this is just a nice
With this many
conversation
hostages, it would be
It's a
awesome.
big building, and we're just gonna check inside. We don't know if they're in here.
It's just a conversation between men of faith. Yeah, or women, men or women of faith. Could be both.
but I'm gonna guess Jonathan isn't like actively while you're in the street. You're not like detecting your auras or anything like that. Because at this point, you're not really detecting anything. You're not detecting anything. Like that's what I mean. Like in this, there's nothing about this that is telling you it's a Eldritch horror event in the temple.
That's David's way of saying totally.
I'm not saying that.
We've been through alleyways.
Jonathan, what are the specifics of your detections ability?
It starts at 30 feet and then it goes to 60 feet.
Okay.
I think it goes to 90 feet max, but it takes 3 rounds to get that far.
Okay. And can it go through solid walls?
It can't go for solid rock. However, it does like thin holes for it. It can go through thin holes in it.
Okay. No,
There's some blood wall.
but you're noticing there's like interesting gargoyle statues on like the outsides of the temple. Just like some like I would say demon iconography, but it's more like it's not like demon. It's more like it's human demon, which is gargoyles.
I will enter.
Okay. You walk in, you see the corridor, you see off to the side, there's a marketplace, you see children walking around more interested in the markets than the temples. You notice that there are some old people in front of you, super easy to kill. Super easy.
You have one small sword, you have the rock.
But I guess the bigger question in this is that, well, Moki, you have walked past the point where your father had affected you and had stopped you. You haven't heard his voice since you've passed back through that street and back through that area where the trauma happened originally, like where you had to stop or run away. You've passed past that point now, and you don't hear your father's voice or that other voice. You don't hear them. You don't hear them even in the distance. Maybe that's because there's so much traffic around you. And as you watch Oscar take a step into an entryway of a long brick corridor that's connected to what you assume is like an industrial temple. Looks like some sort of really kind of concrete temple. Less ostentatious. What do you do? He's going into somewhere where you can assume there's a bit more quiet, a bit more peace. Maybe.
I'll go inside, getting off the street.
Don't show them.
Now, for Cerithriel to be kind of still tugging at your waist, you're noticing that he's still kind of tugging in the same motion. So you're not sure if this is the temple or not.
You sort of tightening it.
It's giving you a tug.
For when Wokey, luckily, even the way that it's moving, the tug is a kind of forward motion swing that on your side, on your hip, it looks like what would happen when a sword is like jostled by you walking. So it has that really natural lean to it, but there's like an extra second lag that the shaft kind of pokes out.
At the moment, it is a walking sector.
Steve.
Well, you think
Okay, so sorry, you're right. You're carrying it, and it would kind of
Every time I take a step.
it would be that forward motion that kind of delays itself on a little bit. Makes Oscar look a little bit like a blind person with a cane, effectively, because it looks like he's kind of like tracking where to put it.
So blind.
He's clearly blind. Loki, you enter the brick building, and this narrow corridor does, in a very faint way, muffle the sound behind you and around you. There is a market. So you first enter this corridor, and then there's kind of like two loud sounds either side of the entryway. And then you take like 10 steps into the corridor, and that sound muffles very quickly. A well-acoustic chamber designed for hushed conversation. We can see the end of the corridor where Oscar's walking to. There are three men, two of them kind of like old, short men, hunched beside a man that looks green attire, more like the college, writing furiously in a book. They're conversing with each other. Oscar, you walk, and you don't know any of these people. You don't even know what faith this is for. Instantly as you walk in, there is no clear depiction of a god. There is an orb in the center of this chamber that is like on a lower elevation than you initially can see, and it is spiraled by what looks like silver coils of some sort of like very intricate design, forming kind of like a DNA helix, but tighter, so more like a vortex. If a vortex could be molded in shape, and then at the very apex of that vortex, it's holding a kind of orb, a dull gray, kind of murky orb. And that's in the very center. 4 pillars.
Got that fucking demon out there. Can you see that?
What demon?
That demon over there.
You mean that big robot?
Yeah, demon.
Yeah, you notice there's to one left side of the stage, this chamber, there's a stage. The stage is holding a small podium, place where you assume there's sermons to be had, but there's no like pews or anything. You do notice there's about 5 or 6 people, not the priests, the people, all people that were standing at the kind of entryway, 5 or 6 people that are kind of in a deep, respectful bow.
The robot?
No, they are bowing to the weird tornado silver idol in the center of the room. They're all kind of like around, and then you notice as you're walking closer, it's kind of emerging out of a small bed of water. It is clearly very old. The base of it looks rusted, and the water probably isn't sanitary to drink. But they don't approach it. They simply give it reverence in a very weird, interesting, a very Japanese traditional bow, or like a prayer, a deep prayer that puts them with their head on the ground, facing this idol.
I'll go up to one of the old guys, chatting.
Okay.
Excuse me, sirs.
Oh, there's so much disparity. It's a wonder that the magic. Yes, hello. Oh, hello.
Pleasure to meet you. I've traveled from a far off land. Do you mind telling me what exactly this place is for?
Oh, this is the tabernacle of Saint Bernard. She was the fourth rank worshipper of the sacred Holy Flame Temple, but had her own definition of what the fire was giving. I apologize, I'm Father Patrick Mello.
Pleasure to meet you, Father.
And he looks like a nearly ancient man, if I can put it that way. He almost looks too old to continue his work. Nearly ancient means he doesn't look like he should be working, or like, like it doesn't look like standing up and walking around doing his job. He looks like maybe, let's say, mid-70s, maybe late 70s, and for this society that's so much more stress on an old man, they don't normally make it past 80.
Bro likes his job.
Faith can do that. This is what he leans on, like you, is a polished, large staff made of stone. And you see the other two around him say,
This is the beloved war hero, Father Milo. What would you were the tactician, right? Oh yes, I did some tactical assurances for the soldiers in warfare in the Badlands Gudrun.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
I saw it.
Yes.
It's the Northern Land, it's the... Oh, it's not a big deal anymore. The Guardian Wall does most of the work for us.
The priests all kind of take their leave from the one you were talking to, that you addressed.
And they say, good day, Father, we will get to work.
And if you like, I just have a few questions. What is with this object of worship in the middle? Is there symbology?
Oh, of course. We moved.
Sorry. Just trying to explain it all to me.
Stab him right now. It's the perfect time. No, monologue time.
Our leader, Saint Winner, tried to tell us that our greatest power was to show the beauty in wisdom, even if all that's left is ashes. That is what our tabernacle is designed for. A fortified temple to protect both people, but also to teach the sacred arts of the connection to the eternal paradise. We have this object here as a focal point of prayer because we know that certain energies, once magnified, have the ability to reach greater realms, and objects such as the crystal inside of that orb has, from our knowledge, stronger powers of divinity and divination than we have ever had in this city, especially for public access. Yeah, we are only sure that when it is prayed to, the voices that are affecting one's mind quiet, and riddles left in the mind settle.
Is that the paradise I'm talking about?
St. Bella made her vows to Krueler, and also Leonard, and also to, there was a few others, but they all, her worship was not for them, but for the access of everyone. The knowledge and the secrets hidden by the high priests at the Temple of the Pure Flame, we abolished many of those laws and allowed people to have some access. The fellow preachers here have some access from the Holy Temple that allows our art to form into a form of healing magic. Our security in this city allows healing items to be commonly given to the temples so that we can assure people of safety and support their needs when we cannot. And our ability to support them by hand has been most vital. We have, we are worshippers of knowledge hidden by time and darkness. we are scheduled to have a ceremony tonight, so I cannot aid you for long, but it is my duty and pleasure to aid your enigmas. He looks at Moki. Tell me, what brings you to this place?
His sword was tugging him.
I'm a collector of stories.
He doesn't have a sword. But he looks, he doesn't seem to.
I'm a collector of stories. I come from the forest mountains, not to reach the stars. I journeyed here just to learn. It's... I felt a pull here.
Oscar, you notice as you're talking to him, on the side of the wall at one entry point, so actually an entry point that you can't see, but here and here, half covered by the curtains of this fabric, but you can see there's kind of like a little bit of a backstage where people can probably squeeze behind the curtain, but you're noticing that these two kind of domed walls have plaques, like the brick layer around them reveals murals, black and white murals. This one is half covered by a stage that looks to have been set in, maybe it's an old mirror or whatever, and this one, which you can see visibly.
It's your sleeping chums of evil creatures coming down, bro.
What's this?
Gross. That's terrifying. I don't like that. Yeah.
I want you to make a religion check for me.
Okay. This is natural 20. Is this the city of Exodus?
Natural city. Oh my goodness. You gotta tell me that whole time. 32.
I'm a collector of stories.
There's something in here that your sword doesn't catch and you do.
Oh my gosh.
Something that's kind of rooting you to this place that you become more sure that this may have been the track, the trace. You are one of the few people that has knowledge of texts and tomes and picture books, whichever picture books they are, scribed illustrations from before the Great Divide, before the first time gods brought war to the world. That was only just under 1,000 years ago. But before that time, most of the sacred history texts are kept on the Catholic continent of Asura. That portrait you see on the wall resembles old texts that we're pretty sure haven't ever been shared with this continent and relate so far back that the visible image of what you can assume is some being floating in space, it sparks a memory like you have seen the picture, but because of how old and long ago you read that text, there is no recollection to the specifics. Yet you're looking at a text, an image, a mural that has been black and white designed to show a precipice where maybe a dozen or so visible people are kind of at the edge of, and then a floating shadow-like figure, enormous in size. I mean, that could have been an emergence of a god descending to talk to them. It also could have been an omen of a dark god. That's the thing where it's like, when you go before the first time gods brought war to the world, there's a confusion on what murals are banished gods, banished ones, and which murals are the prime pantheon. That just can kind of like, you're talking to the priest, and that split second, I think he notices that your eyes linger, and he looks back.
Oh yes, we have. Oh, you take a liking to the art.
Yes, sorry. I do a bit of drawing myself. So I've gotten a collection of religious iconography. I find it fascinating.
Oh yes, these are renditions of the sacred portraits we have from the earliest stage before the Great Divide.
Now he's confirming it for you. You're 100% sure that this continent in context should never have been given this knowledge if it is obtained by them at all. This could just be like a very, very old wives' tale put on murals on a wall.
But I would be, if you're a lover of the arts, maybe, how religious are you? Sorry, I was going to ask first. Do you worship the faith?
Not entirely.
Oh.
I worship the idea of faith. But I guess you could say I'm searching.
Many, that's exactly what St. Bernard, he just gestures to the totem in the center of the temple. That's what St. Bernard was a worshipper of the many, because not one of them would directly listen to her. And he says that with a bit of pain in his voice, old pain.
Would you say you're the same?
Not quite. I made peace with the insignificance of my life in the face of such powers. And I think for that, they gifted me this. And you see out of his hand this kind of this faint, like, white aura. It's very similar to yours. It is the ability, in a very weak way, to give restoration to the needy. When St. Bernard taught me as one of her oldest disciples, that the physical was not always the part that was broken. There were many secrets of the mind I wished to uncover, and I could never found without St. Bernard's authority to allow the riddles and mysteries of our world to be funneled and delivered to the public.
This, St. Bernard, how long ago did she pass?
Oh, back when the city's population was around about 12,000. She must have been, she was one of the oldest preachers. 28 years ago, maybe.
Yes.
I was, middle-aged.
I'm sorry to hear of that.
But we seem to share a similar sort of faith. If you're a fan of old art, we have 4 more murals on the
I would love to see them.
upper floor. It is please. I would warn you too. We have precautions on the second floor. We have a turret, just for some aerial. We've been told, just as a forewarning, there is some defense for aerial attacks. As you heard today, that just happened.
Yes, I did hear that as I was coming in.
The city is a bit on edge, and people have been coming in here hoping that we could cure the small scrapes and scratches, but we are trying to save our small, gifted energies for the really wounded.
Yes.
Thank you. He gives a small prayer. Thank you, Saint Bernard, for giving us an easier day. Please, walks towards the small spiral stairway. I don't know if you're...
No, that's no worries. Would you be alright staying down here?
I'm good, but I have a question. When you say you have the power to give to the needy, does that include destroying strength?
It came at a sacrifice of my own strength, but I believe that's where power comes from. Sacrificing to give to another. Is that what you meant?
I was asking if you could help restore some of my strength. I was recently raised from the dead, and I was feeling a bit weaker.
Oh, indeed. Please, we have potions we can give to you. If you are that wounded, it is our duty to offer you free of charge.
My friend's ailment is more of a weakness in the mind.
If you wish, look into the wall. Points to the center of the room. It is. This orb is bigger than your head. It's maybe a 5-foot wide orb.
Don't they have a rule about
St. Bernard became the
It is only designed to help clear the mind.
What if you broke it?
I don't
Let's see what happens.
And you see the people, there's about 6 people just with small, what looks like leather or thatch mats that are in a kind of very Muslim kind of style. They're on the ground. They're not humming or anything like that, but they are down on their knees in their hands and they're praying.
You're a weakness I feel in my body.
The body is something that we might have to help ourselves, but the mind is something that only the gods can really help.
I'll take whatever help I can with my body. My mind, I'll prefer to fix it myself. At least try to.
I think that's fair enough. Let's just go for a walk.
Please get 2 large-sized mats.
We're heading upstairs.
I'll wait down here.
One of the small quiet ones. There's a few of them. They're not here yet. Procession hasn't started. You see the old man very, it's a stone, like you're surprised this 75-year-old is wielding the stone staff hanging the whole thing. It's basically a staff, but it's like half height. Okay. He struggles to walk up this small spiral staircase, but after about 2 minutes, Moki, you hear the groan. 1 step at a time, that is the sound he's making.
As he's
to your right, he's just
as he's walking up the stairs, I'll just sort of like, just a moment.
Oh yes, it's all good. I'm going to be another minute.
I'll sort of jauntily head back down to Moki and just say, that should be alright. And I'll do the protection against evil on him. And I will head back up.
How long is protection from evil?
Protection from evil?
Is it a minute per spell?
It's probably like 10 minutes per class.
I guess it's pretty good. Decent amount of time. Let me get it all.
Also, you guys are like
6 minutes.
That's okay. You're only going up to see a piece of art. In and out. Quick slick. Alright. You come back up, climbing the stairs quickly to realize that he's still about 3 stairs off the top. Gets up there.
I only do this twice a day, only. I'm getting to the stage where...
And he starts to kind of like mumble talk about how his age is hindering him in every way. And you're kind of like blurring that out because, you're agreeing ability, but then you look up and to your left you see 2 murals kind of leading down what is a kind of large central corridor space.
Do they give me the same idea of
Where you emerge out from, you notice you're like 5 feet away from what is a hand ballista crossbow, which points out of 2 kind of like regular arched slits of like a regular kind of cathedral church. So there's only kind of like 2 good angles that he can fire from, but you realize you're probably like close to 50 feet off the ground. This is an aerial defense. You notice that there's vent windows and iron barred areas, but there's only about, as you walk into this chamber, only about 5 walls that you can see that look. Obviously, one of them is not, but 4 of them visibly are containing black and white illustrations of art. That's not the weirdest thing you see when you enter this room.
Great.
For pleasure, I'm going to show Jake the art separately, and then I'm going to put the map back on so the group can see, but this is the art you get.
The weird thing you see is the naked, fleshless corpse in the center and the 6 dudes in robes around it. That's the weird part.
Yes. Not a cult.
Not a cult at all. And you notice that there is a royal blue and gold and silver statue. 20 feet tall, standing at the precipice of kind of like the central walkway. You see it's a very thin walkway because this huge statue of a sphinx is dominating the kind of central space. Huge. even you entering its proximity, you're like, why the fuck? How did it get up here? More than why? And the priest kind of walks you around.
That's all our riddles, so.
Opens one door, and you're getting like, he shows you,
It's the one there. Oh, these are all pre-divine art pieces.
I mean, he looks past the Sphinx like it's nothing in this chamber.
As you know, I sense
I'll
give you in your whole family.
You're letting him talk to you.
Yeah.
What are you trying to insightfully detect?
I just want to know if, like, the way that he's sort of
he's trying to cover up his own action.
Does it seem like whenever he's like, oh, there are cool paintings up here, do I feel like there is more than just a cool painting up here? Do I feel like
I think the cool paintings, and then the fact that he doesn't mention the Sphinx as maybe that, you said you were interested in the art. I think that's kind of weird that he doesn't mention, oh, by the way, there's a giant Sphinx. He mentions the aerial artillery on the second floor, but doesn't mention the Sphinx.
Pretty nice.
But also just like gestures to the Sphinx, like saying that we've also got this, and walks underneath the tail, which is very stiff and kind of bent over. Like you have to go underneath a tail that's kind of like a large iron piece of painted, like kind of looks painted, but it's hard to tell. Deep blue color.
It gives those like Chinese lion dog vibes.
Yeah, you can see some splotches where you're pretty sure that it's like. Oh no, like gold flakes that probably have peeled off some of the ornamental pieces.
So this is alive.
You fucking hope not.
Yeah.
But you did. Did you do it as a detect thing? No.
As I entered, but
yeah, you don't get any. You don't get any sense from the priest that there's nothing evil about what he's trying to show you. I think that there is something about him wanting to give you information so freely that is a little conspicuous.
As we're walking underneath the tail of the Sphinx, Oscar will say, as you'll walk past, will say, I've noticed this. Would you be able to?
This thing taps it with his stone staff. I mean, you thought you had a crack, but you just hear a boom, boom.
I believe this is one of Saint Bernard's largest tokens.
Stretches himself.
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure how it got up here. Probably hoisted in the construction of the tabernacle. We've never moved the tabernacle from here, but it is part of the church. Its design is to be able to move if this area of the city becomes compromised. We are very close to one of the doors.
I mean, my spatial awareness isn't the best.
But spatially,
it's directly in the middle, yes.
And you notice that there's like two
small protrusions from the stone wall where you can see there's like an interesting, faintly glowing purple sigil. One like almost touching the tail, and then one at the front, but that's not being touched. You can see beautifully painted, ritual painted golden claws, a face where, as you look up at an angle, looks just like stone, like a glazed stone. But there's no like definition on any of the face. It almost just looks like a mask. And then that weird like eye thing at the top there, that's barely visible to you, with the whole head and the height and its protrusion.
So this has been here as long as you know.
And it is, I believe it's the secret totem that is allowing us to have more wisdom under the light of this temple than without it. This is, I believe, in the law of religion and faith. When the gods made a few creations before humans, the sphinxes were one of them. And any testament, no one sphinx, any testament to
I have never known.
power, and maybe the just there. The idea of their presence, even being in proximity, would allow the nature of mysteries to be unraveled. They're very,
So this one is alive?
No.
Oh, sorry. It had sounded like you were saying that it was giving the blessing.
Oh, I believe so, yes. I say it's an idol.
All right.
Like the thing downstairs, the orb that allows someone to have a kind of clear, like, when I come into this chamber, it is a hassle. You know, this thing gets in the way. Walking through this chamber every day. But I've been the same way, where it has its own unique problem for fitting in this space. I find that I have less questions, more answers. Maybe that's just because I'm old and I've figured out everything I need to know. It's hard to know. With that door that was closing that bed, you hear well, you're pretty sure sound like two voices. And they're not directly coming from behind the door. They're almost coming from like an adjacent wall, not directly that part of the front of that door.
Do you get many visitors up here?
We have a few house guests, yes. We have a tinkerer. She's more of an alchemist, but she works with machinery as a side hobby for the Krueler assembly.
Is that why there's the creation downstairs?
Yes, a gift from her work in the city. Her name, Payne, with an E at the end.
Okay. I don't recognize the name.
Okay, she's maybe in her late 50s and has been working steadily since the city's kind of foundation. One of the minds to create the second edition of the Clockwork Soldiers that patrol the private sectors.
Right.
They don't, obviously, not this area, but I believe she has one in there she's working on now.
Seems like quite the auspicious guest.
Yeah, you definitely heard two voices, even though he said this one.
Show me these art pieces.
Yes, of course. Their creation, obviously, he points to the two which look like just hordes of people in robes or cloth or something. This is one of the founding images we had for the kind of mourning. The first time some of the gods made their first mistakes in the world, and the world's faith in them was shaken. People, a long time ago, in this image, I think it depicts that they, in a kind of cult-like way, they assembled themselves together at a point where they were afraid of the things that they were praying to.
Right.
And I believe that many of them fled from the safety, or the former believed safety of Isora. Obviously, this was probably before the great sundering of the Isoran continent. Only the city was left, but I'm sure many of the faiths surrounding the city were destroyed.
Earlier they said you were a war hero.
Oh yes. I'm from Isora.
Here you are. It was the saint that created this sect, and the same. Was she also a war hero?
You see, he really thinks about it. There was reason to believe she had the cunning wit. And when I met her, I had already done two expeditions into the government lands. She had said that she had never been before, and that she was struggled to grow here, which I think means that she's from this continent, although she never officially told me. She could have been from OMEN or Philandra. And I remember she said that they never had enough information to ever make a justified thought outside of what another continent would tell them. and she was relatively fed up with that as an idea. I'm pretty sure that in her boldness, many of the faiths that were supposed to help her did not, so she did most of the work to begin with alone. At the stage where this Sphinx statue entered the creation of the tabernacle, I'm not exactly sure. I was young enough here when this second story was being created, and I did not see it, but I was not at the time a worshipper, so I did not stay long. I believe she came from Tulum Port, one of the older cities, like the Bay.
Yes.
But my suspicion is that you've come from either a different city or from a different continent. You have the appearance of
Yes,
many that I saw there, traveled between.
I've headed here from Isora, although I didn't know much of it. I know where I grew, and I had traveled here in search of other stories.
I think that is why everyone comes to these places. Because what stories do humans really have that is special? I think that the scope of our lives might seem insignificant when we talk and look at the gods, but to them, I think each life we have is in its own way important. Every decision we make affects them, I'm sure, even if they do not show it to us.
How is my sword reacting to this room?
Your sword, your guy has been away. But as you entered this, you have felt this kind of a small tug in a few different directions. There is a tug towards the priest that you've been talking to. There's a tug towards the Sphinx statue. And there's a tug towards the door which you heard murmuring behind. The only door that they haven't let you into. It's more like maybe he's equally as curious as you are, but then there's also kind of a feeling in your mind that it could be aware that the ability to detect one's mind in this place could be more vulnerable. So him talking out loud as a spirit, at least in your mind, you're wise enough to think that it could foresee a state where it needed to be almost invisible to minds.
They call me the old man, but when I was left, I saw I was called hero.
Wow.
And that does something to your mind, put you in a state of puts you in the wrong mindset. Heroes shouldn't be worshipped. They should be admonished. I came here to this land with a large ego on my shoulders, and Saint Brenner truly set me in my place.
He looks down, and you see his eyes very distant.
With secrets that I should not have been able to understand. And thanks to that, I gained perspective.
What sort of secrets? I don't expect you to tell me, because it wouldn't be a secret then.
He looks at you as well, exactly.
But the idea of the secrets, what is it?
He kind of whispers something. I want you to make a perception check for me.
That's not Yeah, pretty good.
You hear
That's just one reason to kill him.
at the same time as the entity inside you. So when you hear it, your weapon, I want you to also make me a will save, because it immediately reacts to the words that you hear.
16.
Okay. I want you to make me another will save. This is DC 20.
Natural 20, it's a 31.
31, okay.
Sorry.
This is perfect because this is in a 6 second succession. Apologies. You hear whispered from this temple with truth and lies at my command. That's all you hear before your staff reacts and just lines up to its throat. That's 6 seconds you didn't have control. You see the man look shocked, and you pull back, you regain control almost instantly. And
Apologies.
there's something without him saying enough. You're pretty sure. You have this burdening fear that comes from the spirit inside you, but then it's also amplified by what you're pretty sure is the energy of the 9.
What emotion is the sword giving me?
The sword?
Horny.
Shut up. Horny might be the correct word, but in a different way. Not the way you think. He's not horny.
He's aroused.
He can't get aroused. In a sexual,
doesn't mean horny.
exactly. He cannot be sexually aroused. This dragon inside, the spirit of a dragon inside of this sword gets you feel a sense of betrayal that is amplified into a sense of kind of like an aggressive desire to fight.
Wait, he wants to hate fuck?
And the feeling of the 9 is similar?
The feeling of the 9 is a almost polar opposite. You feel this like defensive shield carve through. Maybe that was the reason, that natural 20, that fight. Like you were able to pull away that sword because you're feeling this like ramp up of energy.
Let's just try to quell it.
Something inside you is building out, and then you feel it collide with something. Divine forces collide with something that is equally strong. Loki, you and Oscar would have to make a save, but you can't succeed. DC 36 will. Sorry, but I can tell you it is a mind altering effect. It is compulsion.
Is it enchantment magic?
If you're a demon, you're immune.
I protection against evil.
And unfortunately, protection against evil. Protection of the evil is the only thing that cannot save you from this. It's officially listed because this is the effect of a demon lord.
Maybe if I'm stronger.
Okay,
The burgeoning strength of Oscar pushes against. You didn't realize it because your sword couldn't detect it. Your power is met with enough force. The priest has left. They've laid down some mats at your feet so you can sit down.
I'll sit down.
Okay. These are like thatch. They're not very comfortable for your horse, but they're great. And you're looking. Are you looking at the orb?
No, I offered some help to deal with my physical weakening, and I'm waiting for that.
Cool. You would have automatically saved this.
You're an idiot.
So you're not stunned for staggered for one round. That will happen later. You're both paralyzed. And each round you're going to take 1d4 points of wisdom drain.
36. Mm-hmm. I succeed.
Oh. A wisdom save.
It's up to you. If you're saying the 9 activates, that would mean my purity activates.
Yeah.
So that becomes a 36 with my nat 20.
He has some bonus.
Holy shit. Okay.
Only because you said it's a paralysis. If it's not a paralysis, I don't succeed at all. But +2 from paralysis, +2 because it's evil, +2 from the 9.
Yeah. But because you failed, you take an additional point of wisdom damage. 1.
One. Okay.
If you fail, it's on here for me. If you reduce to 0 wisdom, you are permanently affected by the insanity spell.
Even better.
Assuming we have arena.
This is the effect of a demon.
Yes.
All demons are immune to this. As Oscar and I was going to say Jonathan, but Marky, you hear
0 wisdom.
whispered in a voice none of you have heard before, in a voice that sounds almost soft but grows in a kind of intimidating way, echoes through your consciousness, and it shatters a small part in each of you, but Moki, it's like opening a well with gauzes inside your gut.
I immediately hallucinate.
With truth and lies at my command, I will weave a tale to test your strand. A man knows only that he lies when the truth in his heart forever hides. If he speaks false with honest eyes, is it the truth that truly dies? Or do both truth and falsehood rise in his game of truth and lies? Words that become a cacophony of whispers. Okay, in that moment you are basically just shocked into a stillness. You hear it almost repeat over and over and over. Oscar.
Hey, a quick 30-minute vacation.
What do you do when you notice that the priest is looking up at you now with like kind of the one eye? You're noticing that the facial expressions have changed instantaneously. Like he's realized something as well. You're still hearing the whispers kind of echo all around you, but you're noticing from the edges of your body there's kind of that same, out of his head, from you, it's out of every part of your body, kind of creating this almost like halo, faint aura around the outside of your body. There's a fear, not of death, but of truth, that you can see in his eyes for as long as he's been alive. He didn't set a trap for you. He didn't lure you. He didn't even know that this thing would activate in your presence. But when you look at him, you think that there was probably something in him that hoped you would see his truth.
Staggered.
You are staggered for only 1 round. So that round you raise the sword up, your staff, pull it back, and that's that kind of like white fuzz around your brain as those words are like force jammed into your head. You realize that was like a riddle, but there was no answer, there was no conclusion, just a burden on a mind.
Apologies.
Of course.
You chose the wrong gods.
Alright. I'm not going to roll initiative, but let's just see if you can take this guy out.
You're right, if you take it out in one go, it's hardly going to affect
It's
it.
a 30 hit.
Oh yeah!
It just hits.
Great. And is he a worshipper?
Everything is
He's on Kuthon.
Let's go there.
Yep.
Oh, there's Monkey.
Okay.
Where's he standing with them?
So,
Wait, if
It's the sound.
he's just sitting there, it's just vibrating.
Moki's out on the break.
24 physical damage.
You're scared?
Plus an extra
That head explodes.
8 lightning.
You hear the ting, ting, as you see like an intricate, what is probably a ritual sickle fall from behind his hand, from behind his back. As the head that you smash is gone, the force of your strike obliterates his head. Sprays, half of the murals on that wall are gone and just covered in red gore, and you notice two of the guards that are on either side of you lower their spears in your direction. Moki, you notice that all of a sudden there is this thrumming in your brain, the echoing of voices.
It's crazy. Just kill everyone.
Go crazy.
That whole, like, you were fighting your own mind, now this feels like a totally different influence that is as strong as False.
It feels like I just had my balance, but been violently shoved off a cliff.
No, like you had just been pulled off a cliff and then someone's like holding you over it again. While you continue to lose your sanity every round.
You landed and someone's pulling you through cacti.
This place. Or something else. I will get everyone to roll initiative, but before we do, Jonathan. Cicero. You see Moki. Which side do you enter from?
This one.
Good pick.
We were there.
We'll go this way.
We were here.
No, you guys have already done a 10-minute full scout.
Does
Make
this
sure
have a door?
it does. It has. Oh no, they're all like. Sorry, they're all like. They're just an entrance.
Multi-level, the whole thing underneath it.
Oh, but I showed it earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
So you want to put them side by side?
We can. And I'll do that, but we'll do it. We'll do it in a sec.
We walked in.
Do it in a sec.
Yeah.
I gotta get a structure.
Jonathan did a little. Jonathan did this, then he immediately fell to the floor as he got stunned for the 50th time.
Oh, you're doing the detection.
Fifth time in this he fucking slams his face. And this is the guy. How much stronger is it by hit die?
How much stronger than you?
The lost finger skin isn't stronger. The lost finger skin. What was the last thing you did? It was the ghost that possessed him. Oh, yeah, classic. Is it stronger?
Ghost was CR 15. This is CR 27.
Yeah, okay. I smashed my fucking head against the wall once again. Okay, I wish like, oh no, Jonathan, are you okay? Help him up.
You see, Jonathan has seriously smashed his head into the wall and is starting to make the stone bleed.
You made the wrong blade.
And it's not. It's
look around for
to
the
you.
Presence by the kills.
We'll before we go break, Jonathan, you're suddenly aware of a ghostly mask-like face that is floating in the air, but the mask is 5.5 feet tall, and you notice that, like, as you looked at them, Cicero had half walked through them, physically walked through them in front of you. So there's something about it that's maybe like just a sensory awareness of you, but then Jonathan, you're like, that is the strongest aura you've felt in 1,000 years.
This is the strongest evil aura.
Is it evil? What type of alignment?
It's fucking evil. This is the strongest evil alive aura.
One that is specific alignment? Is that what you find out?
It doesn't tell me the alignment, it tells me the outsider type.
Okay, extra planar.
Extra planar. It would be an evil outsider or a good outsider.
Evil outsider, yeah.
Okay.
I should say extra planar evil outsider. Great power.
Right.
We cannot stand up to this.
And you know, and as Jonathan, you know that it's aware of you in some way, in some ability. As you try to detect it, it flips the script, and you know that it's been this porcelain mask, visibly, ethereally floating in front of you, aware of you, not even looking at you. And then that snake spirit. You watch as Sebastian clicks pieces of his armor together on his right arm, where his gun has always loaded from, and it kind of unravels into a long-barreled kind of nozzle where electric kinetic charges is starting to build up.
What do I do? What should we do?
I think I hear fighting upstairs.
Help me find Lost Girl, I guess.
Just stay away ahead of us.
Sounds like lightning. I'm going to go check on Loki. He seems to just be staring at the floor and not moving.
How long are you stunned for?
Around.
Oh, then it's been. As I said, I gave you 2 rounds, so you've had at least 1 round. So this round you can do something. Your turn. What do you want to do?
I'll go investigate. This little ass nerd suddenly fucking flies across the floor as it appears around Murky.
It's like a video game where you're walking, but it's not conveying the correct distance you're walking.
As this nerd teleports right
Let's just do a little goblin.
It is for. He looks over him. Alright, that's
Fucking tiny goblin. That's it.
So Jonathan will go.
We have to find Oscar. Something's wrong with Loki.
I found another pub. Fosk's. Yo, wing.
Okay. I see why you didn't find that earlier. The black tail.
You can join the other chopped up tiny bits of it.
Okay. Next is you are noticing that emerging from the curtain back here, I think the only person who can notice around is Jonathan, is this guard here. Obviously makes the first steps towards the stairway upwards. And then I will say, because no one else gets a turn before the guard has done his move, Loki and Cicero, you are together. Loki, roll me 2d4. Oh. You can make another save again if you think you can beat a will save of 36.
Come on, big bug. You got this. Roll low. What's your bonus?
Now with -4. -2, sorry.
Why would it be -2?
Because you took 4 points of wisdom damage.
Well, I took 2 points of wisdom damage. You rolled 1 both times, didn't you?
Oh. No.
He took the...
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, reverse. Sorry. You're right. So 1 point of sorry.
I have 6 will if I raise some fate. This is I don't have anything against my defending, so I can't succeed.
16 to your level to be able to save.
Yeah, I can't do it. Okay.
So roll
2d4.
Roll 2d4.
Yeah, but my blood is betraying me. Why not? 4. 1.
So that's 7 points of wisdom damage in 2 rounds.
I'm now at 10 wisdom. I will rage, and I make the ignore 3 wisdom damage.
Like a normal person. So as Jonathan is beside him, as Cicero is down the hallway, you hear.
I'm bleeding even more of the rage. Yeah.
I think Rookie, like you hear a kind of an echoed grunt followed by a muffled roar that's like contained in his own mouth. He's biting his teeth and he's roaring. You can just see him, so what do you want to do? It's now your turn.
Hit.
15, 20, 25. You want me to move you the rest?
Hang on. That's the healthcare. Obviously.
You see all of these priests, like this guard is moving in kind of your direction, you aren't looking, but all of these priests have turned towards Moki.
Like, angry, or are they worried because the fucking centaur is seizing in the middle of the temple?
Probably that. I mean, unless you're spending your turn to really investigate the peoples.
Yeah, I'm walking
Which
around.
you could, but yeah, no, you don't think that this is a cultist invasion. None of these people around it, like there were a few praying people, but they've scattered the moment Moki starts to get, yelly.
Okay.
Yelly, as they say. It's a bit weird and everyone wants to run away.
30, 35. When I go here, I'm gonna go, Moki! Where's Oscar? And my turn.
Yeah. Just gonna put some people in the hallway.
That's when you hear Oscar firing.
No, my ears don't work like they used to before.
Unless you're outside the building, it's pretty hard to hear from the inside Oscar fighting. Like as you're right here on the outside, it's not that difficult, but it's not easy. Get some people moving in the road. Which wants to crack a door?
I was like, Jonathan, what's wrong with him?
I can't tell. He seems to be bleeding.
This is
Yeah, the office.
Try to get him out of here. I'll check upstairs.
Wisdom drain.
Don't forget the strength of that.
That's how they track that.
You're even a bit smaller, surely you can use
Damage that could reduce the incoming damage, but
Right.
it's penalty incoming.
You can only
just ignore
subtract it. Yeah.
Nah. Bro forgot he wasn't actually a gnome.
Okay. Okay. That's your turn.
I'm preparing to climb up the stairs. I'm just
It is going to walk up behind you with a Masterwork War Razor,
Oh god damn. Oh gosh.
and I crit on an 18.
What the fuck?
Yep. It's like a big, big gross looking sword.
Nat 18.
That's double crit.
So you die immediately.
By the way, nat 18 plus 2
Yeah.
for 20.
Okay. So 19 is the whole part of that.
So you die immediately.
Multiplier, it
double crit, so he takes your head off.
tell me. So just probably just plus 2 times 2.
I feel bad, but I couldn't say you anyway.
That is plus 1, so that's 4. Doubled is 8.
Oh, you're dead.
That's pretty damn. Holy shit.
That's like, you're done.
As the cultist stabs into your shoulder, which is invisible, so what it stabs into is kind of like you're basically halfway where your hip is as a centaur.
Because
A humanoid hip
stabs
stabs in. This is round cultist.
That's a good point. Do I get a concealment bonus? Whatever.
Concealment.
Considering half my body is.
But no, that's why he's stabbing down at you and stabs your upper half. He can't see what he's stabbing into, but he
There's
stabs
a
us.
stab at the top of your head, and accidentally hits early.
He actually.
He was stabbing your known neck. Yeah.
He actually hits me in the center heart.
That's
Which is when
why
it's defeat. That's not great, but yeah.
I'm surprised that you can disguise as a creature with a different amount of legs as you.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. But that's what this cap says. It doesn't have a restriction of what you are. Just have to become as with disguise self.
Yeah. You cannot change your creature type, or you can appear as another subtype.
Yeah. And I'm a healer as a creature type.
Here we go. Slam! This robot will do a blade attack first. That is a fucking miss. So it misses Moki. Moki does an 18.
Okay. So my AC is 7.
All paralyzed.
And Moki, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouchie!
Holy shizzle, my.
That's like twice my HP bar.
Holy shizzle, my kizzle.
We just do this.
Oh yeah, followed by 2 more cultists, so these guys go. One will go to the back on the other side of Jonathan, and then one will go to the back of Loki. Now, Loki is not getting team tag, because he's not from the right angle, but Jonathan is.
Yeah, I respect. David's hard to figure out. The numbers game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just almost for the similarities. And
Nat 20.
That's figured.
Again, on Jonathan. Nat 14 plus 2.
Yes.
Great. Jonathan,
D&D is scaling.
one cultist stabs you with the razor, and the other one digs its hands into your wound and affects you for 1d6 points of bleed per round. There's no crit mod. There's no crit mod. It's just 4 points of bleed every round.
It's still bleeding actually. And then
It's called bleeding. As a death domain cleric, they have bleeding touch. That's what that is.
That means you can
No, there's no crit mod. I was rolling crit confirm, but there's nothing to crit with.
Hey, some spells can crit.
Also, it says as a melee touch attack. Bleeding touch. Melee touch attack.
Yeah, take a touch.
It's a bleeding attack where it does bleed damage.
It's just double.
With that
Roll
crit,
dice, you can crit.
Yeah, it's a double.
I believe so, yeah.
because it's melee touch attack. So 8
spells.
So 4 to 8.
All spells can crit. If
If you're all
Okay, cool. Yeah. So 8 bleed.
Whoa!
8 bleed around is rough, I
There's
think.
no being immutable. How many
but
crits
as
are
soon
you
as-
taking?
as soon as he heals,
What?
That's funny. You've been taking 8 damage, by the way. You know, crit.
He's only taking 2 damage. Crits, both the crits.
I know, but you haven't taken crits damage yet. That happens on your. I've been critted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jonathan, the bleed damage will. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. There's one cultist to go
Oh my god.
after. Yeah. Okay. So that cultist succeeded.
16 damage.
This cultist rolls a nat 2 to try and do the same thing to Loki. I mean, he gets +5, but then it has +4 just doesn't do it. That's a 10. Does a 10 hit?
I'll take off
Yes.
the damage. Yeah.
Cool, okay.
AC is 7.
3 points of bleed.
Nice.
Now, on the right, top round, cultists on Oscar's side. Dead as fuck. So I have to worry about the other cultists.
This is great. You don't make man corpses, and there's no guards here for me to kill on you.
You see Oscar as a priest curves the corner, and you can catch eyes with it. It kind of stops itself. It starts casting something that looks like he's hesitantly holding back, potentially readying something. Well, the other one, and then you notice that through the legs of the Sphinx, sorry, well, I guess it's over the ass, the tail. I've kind of just unaligned it from where it was sitting before, but it's okay. The ballista was in line to hit the corner of the tail of the Sphinx. I'm gonna make that. What's the cover bonuses? You have a lot of cover, right? Concealment. I'm gonna say 50% chance. You have 50% chance of missing because of the Sphinx's body being in the way. If I can hit, 19 to hit Oscar. Alright, great. A large ballista bolt fires into the room, ricochets over 2 of the stone wall corners, and then splinters into about 5 pieces, kind of showering you with some shale. And then the cultist priest is going to hold himself back. Great, cool. So he can't hide the thing he's trying to do. So you see the priest muttering and casting something under his breath. You are following into, it is your turn.
Okay, I will.
And the sound of what you're pretty sure you heard Cicero back on the side where the 2 enemies you have are. Cicero was going to pop up from between the 2 of them in the hatch in the ground.
Okay. I want to deal with this guy casting.
He is on the other side of that Sphinx tail from you.
I'm going to charge again. So I get to ignore the difficult terrain. Okay. I'm going to make a power attack against him. Oh, nope. It's a natural 1, so I missed.
And against you, having power is 20. Oh, geez, 23.
That hits. What is it? What happens?
Touch of evil.
Okay.
Medium touch of evil.
This is he uses 3 of his channel negative energy charges to put 66 points of damage into you.
Is this considered a channel negative energy?
It is.
I'm immune.
Oh my god.
Specifically because he's a zone coupon worshiper. So Cerithrial blocks it. Because I'm under the effects of death ward. When I'm fighting a...
Wait, so you take no damage?
Yeah.
I'm immune to any negative energy effects, including channel negative energy.
Effects. That would also mean the forced suggestion that would come with that ability, right?
I'm just immune to it.
So basically he was casting like a forced geos on you in the next 7 days on top of that damage, and how that field blade kind of sounding, vibration sound that kind of, you are now within 5 feet. And you hear Cicero like opening the shutter door that's 5 feet away from you. I mean, you're lucky that you did the first attack here because he could have easily just reached down and touched Cicero on the way up.
I'm too fast, I would have dodged.
Guys, Cerithrial is really OP in this specific situation where I'm fighting the god that he hates.
The level 17 sword is strong. I'm going to see the plus 4 level 17 sword.
Yep, that's one.
I'll go for a Sebastian.
Okay, what if you were skilled? You just undid all of their hard work.
Oh my god. He sees Jonathan and I know.
What is he holding gangster style? I'm trying to make Sebastian cool.
He will hold the lightning bolts. He's holding it because he knows he'll hit you with Moki. Or you or Moki. He's trying to hit the cultists that you're surrounded by. He's holding you to please, what? Jonathan, back! It was a real one!
Hey, at least he was just firing lightning bolts at allies now.
Well, I mean, last time,
Progression. It's character growth.
Yeah,
Character growth lost.
This is followed by Jonathan.
Alright, Jonathan was
You are right up to Sebastian.
I will activate my
18 in initiative.
Alrighty then, you are definitely crazy. I call in. Protect me. As from the ground, the skulls. What? Skulls of the sins that they have created and they have done to mankind grows from the ground. As then Jonathan will move his hand. Release.
As Jonathan notices, from the water in the center, there are parts of skulls that are half formed that kind of reshape themselves to hold the fluid. There's not that much depth surrounding this temple, which is surprising to you. Maybe hindering you in a slight way.
I'm sure. Okay. So I take 8 damage from the blade. Then I cast Channel Energy. Where everyone heals 6 HP. Wow.
Even Cicero, who's still not out of your reach, right? Is this
6 HP?
What is it? 30 feet!
Did I use this die?
Yep.
Nice. And it's supernatural, right?
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
If you didn't reach the top of those stairs, Cicero would have been in it.
6 HP. Yeah, 9 HP. So I'm no longer bleeding. Oh, Basilisk. 16 to 11.
22. Oh, you fully healed me just.
And my AC increases by 4. Okay.
The guard goes, what is happening? What are you doing?
Yeah, pretty sweet.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We use his action to jump and went right in front of Moki and Jonathan and all of them. And he's like looking at who to strike with his weapon. He's really looking just to target Moki at this point. The priests
The man's done nothing.
The priests have literally, visibly, have looked like they've been slapping you. Because their weapons are concealed and they're tiny. They're literally just like tiny shivs.
Sorry, Murky's prone, right? Because you can't stand.
No, he was in like a kneeled position, I think. But yeah, he's been paralyzed. So, and the priests, other than the one that shanked Jonathan, the priests have just been slapping a bleed effect onto the group. So,
slapping this knife in Jonathan's body.
well, actually, it's invisible because the moment it has to leave the grip of the priest, it disappears into your illusion. So they can't see the knife. They can only see the blood coming from an invisible wound 3 feet off the ground from where your body is.
Good day.
Your head is leaking, but the faucet of blood is invisibly coming from 3 feet above you.
So it just looks like Moki.
Moki will be 2d4 again.
Just do roll 2 4s, because that would be really unfortunate.
I'm gonna roll 4 and become permanently insane. That was cocked.
Maybe roll it in the dice.
4.
That doesn't work.
I'm gonna roll another 4
Roll a 1.
and get permanently insane. 4.
Okay.
It is permanent. It's
I'm not at that stage left.
Oh, you're not that. You're not 0 wisdom. You're 2
So
wisdom.
that's 5 wisdom.
The guard goes, Cicero, you pop up. You realize there is a large, heavy crossbow that is on a mount that looks more like a half ballista formed over your head.
Still good.
Thank you. I don't know that's name. And then there's also what looks like a black-figured cultist to your, on the other side of that. But like there's two soldiers either side of you, and then you realize that behind one of those dark-figured cultists is Oscar, also kind of cloaked. But
He's actively finding him. Okay.
you've seen in this split-second moment. Yeah, they look like they're probably fighting each other. What do you do? You see an enormous Sphinx statue as you pop your head up. But I'll put you on the map. I mean, you are where that crossbow is. That scorpion.
24.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Show us your talents, boy. Burn them. Release your blade. Let your iron shadow upon their bones.
20 damage. Anything damage?
You hit this guy in what you think is a legal action. He technically takes not all non-lethal damage from piercing, but you hit him to the death point. You stab him in a vital organ, and
5 fire damage.
you see the head is half immolating. but falls down.
As he falls, I stab him again.
Okay, do it. It's important that you actually do this.
There's a higher.
Yeah. This was minus 4.
Because he's on top.
This is the first time I'm fighting.
This is the first time Cicero's actually killed someone by
25.
And you kill him. You kill a dark priest that's wearing some sort of like chromatic mask.
As he falls back down, I just slit his throat as he's falling, and then I crouch.
You hear as after you've slit the throat this like cauterizing burning sound from the wound you left in here as the dagger does its job.
There's something really big and really dangerous here.
Yes.
Probably that thing.
I
Yeah, the Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
I see it. As I crouch underneath the hole.
The Sphinx visibly didn't move its head.
It's a yellow, that's gonna kill him.
You're gonna. We are followed by cultist.
Jeez, you got more trouble.
First cultist gets an attack on Johnny. Johnny. Tracy's now 19. He's doing another bleed attack, and I rolled a nat 18, so that'll do it.
Yep, that's
5 points of bleed damage.
Holy shit.
I don't know.
As he slaps the wound that's trickling from above your invisible head. You
again next. Bleed stacks.
Well, that's it. Well, I'm glad you're doing that.
Where's that stack?
As a healer.
You're gonna heal.
And that is actually his whole turn. He's not going to do anything else. He's still with it. Beautiful. Robot is going to. Robot's going to stab her.
Protect your life.
It hurt working before
Killing people instead of.
Oh, that hits. +2, 5 points of damage.
Oh my god. Good.
Bludgeoning. As it smashes a kind of like light hand into your body with a robotic, automated physical attack. Cultist's last 2 go. They're both going to go for. Let's say they both go for Monkey.
Do it for
Oh, that hits.
for the jump.
And that they both hit. Yeah. So this is 6 points of bleed and 1 point of bleed.
6 points of bleed.
No, yeah.
So 7 total.
It'll get rid of it. Oh wait.
It's the smallest amount of cover you can get.
If I didn't have it, would hit me.
Alright, followed by Oscar, who they watch the crossbow angles down, flies. You think it's going to hit Cicero on the head. You don't hear a sound after the bolt is fired, other than the sound of it embedding in the stone.
Wait, this is for engaged in melee combat. That's a -4.
No, it's even
They do that.
Oscar is going to run up towards the guy on the crossbow and just try to grab him by the head and stab him through the chest.
It looks the least culty out of them all. He looks terrified for his life, but is doing his job as he sees it.
Not great.
It's like a woman.
19th hit. 19th hit.
That does it.
So, this equals.
Resistance proves nothing.
27 physical damage.
That really applies here.
And 9 electric.
His middle of the
That's completely ended. On the second floor. It's that like foot maneuver. Are you using the weapon? This is the final creature on this floor. You're welcome to.
Yes, I've been using the weapon for all of the cultists.
Is this still? Does it look like the
I think it's still. It's probably as he's been fighting, like wood's been breaking off, and it's starting to look more just like the silver sword. But he just like bats the ballista out of the way, grabs him by the head, and slams it into his chest, rotates it as the lightning is like expunges out of him, and throws the body to the side.
And you.
It's clear up here, minus the other 2. Sorry.
It's not clear.
There's 2 more in the room, I think.
Okay, well, one of them might be a horrific demon.
We'll go after that. Do you want to go?
Bastion. Father Jono, it's now your turn.
Alright, Jonathan after being a good shot, and then he starts bleeding, leaking more blood, so I'm making damage.
That's okay. The two priests that could.
Those priests dead, or are they just...
One of them looks like he is taken within an inch of his life. The other looks dead. But in proximity to you, only basically like this priest is dead. This one is on the ground, like dying. You actually I'm not gonna say he's prone, but like I'm straight up dying. The two closest to you is the guard who hasn't hurt anyone yet, and the cultist.
I heard how selective on my challenge, so it heals everything.
Oh,
It's a feat. It's a feat. Take a selection. Take it. Yeah.
so that's what you're gonna do.
So I'm channeling it to you again. Since I can't. Please don't.
Those guys have not been hurt yet.
That's why I've been doing it.
Isn't it a standard action?
It is my whole time.
Walk back. And then...
You're right. I'll take a free opportunity.
There's two opportunity attacks, yeah. Also, none of the guards have been hurt except now. This guy has been hurt, so you're healing him. How much do you heal?
11 HP this time.
That's pretty freaking good.
Wow. It's 20 damage.
That's level 20, right?
These guys have been scarred within an inch of their life. He had 3 HP. Now he's got, did you say 10?
11 HP.
14.
Here.
You'll be fixed. Thanks, Gnome.
Thanks, Gnome.
I offer a helmet heal.
The guy goes, "You've got to be kidding me." Same day as this.
Pulls out the sword, goes to carve, swing over Jonathan's invisible form. I think Jonathan, I'm gonna just let it happen that you don't get hit, but it's another point.
He got damage.
22 points of damage.
Dirty damage as well.
That's with 2 hits. 2 slices that carve through the front of your chest as one solid strike is pulled out by the force of the sword.
Keter is gone. Yeah. But we should have.
Oh yeah. Why? How much are you healing?
11, but you're minus.
11 plus 9.
So you never even took the bleed damage.
You have a bunch of pluses.
Plus 23.
Yeah, as long as you are, Rookie wasn't didn't get Radiant Soul, but...
Yeah, but he's got a bunch of other phases that makes him hit more.
Yeah. Very healing. It heals an additional.
Nice.
Rookie and Cicero, you're both up.
Okay, let's do it.
What if you were
Guys,
How many points does it take to die?
if I roll 5.
5. So 3 or 2 or 4, you're screwed.
If I roll 4, first up, I'm done. 1. If I roll 4, I'm done.
2. You're good.
You have how many points of wisdom left?
Never stop raging.
What is your wisdom score?
My wisdom score is 2.
When he stops raging, he's insane.
Just be angry, Grant.
Well, technically, when you reach 0 wisdom, you just go unconscious and can never.
According to this effect, any creature that is reduced to 0 wisdom is permanently confused, as per the insanity spell.
You're also permanently unconscious.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
But you have 0 dex and 0 strength, so it's...
Yeah, 3 paralyzed. It's not gonna be permanent. I heard. Okay, cool. What's the end of my turn? I heal.
Let's get a cleric bitch. Oh, wait.
That's fine. He's got his idol that he can use restoration once.
Oh, wait. It was still a bird.
Cicero, you're welcome to go. Cicero, there's one thing I want to tell you. The statue in front of you, I'm not telling you it's a demon. As far as I'm aware, it's not.
You don't
It's
need
not
to
moving.
It's clearly a demon.
It's not moving.
It's a sphinx.
You're noticing there's specific
You've never seen a sphinx.
glowing
I don't know what sphinx is.
gemstones embedded in the gold ornamental pieces of its outfit. These gems they were 6 seconds ago, they're now humming all across this statue's body. It's not humming. There are small pinpricks of slightly glowing, you can see beads of sapphire, 10 different beads of sapphire. You can see 20 pieces of amber, 30 pieces of petrified wood that is used to kind of hold some of these ornamental jewel pieces onto, stitched to. You're noticing that not the wood, but the amber and the sapphires are all glowing slightly and are all pulsating with a kind of vibrant thrum. It's kind of slowly building, and it's very quiet right now, but it will be growing louder, as you are assuming by the sound, the fact that it's growing in sound. We hit Cicero's turn.
David is waking up. Don't understand what.
Oscar, as you're listening to the thrum of your sword that is slowly breaking away, you look over your elbow and you're hearing that same thrum. What you're noticing, it's like starlight on the body of the Sphinx. Little gems all across the Sphinx. 20 different pieces of amber, 10 different sapphires. Half of them you can't see, but you're seeing them all glowing and stuff.
Can you use a booster?
I ran down the stairs. So the demon's waking up and left.
Well, I guess Oscar is a decent way away currently. There's one cultist that goes after Cicero and Robot before we get back to Oscar's turn. Now that most of the cultists are here.
The cultist.
You want to do that? Yeah, just you're not going to take any damage, you just be prone. You're good.
I got 37. Okay.
You see, like, literally half just decapitated body, and this pillar has just took a chunk through it. The top half of the pillar has hit the ground behind Moki. Moki is still frozen in the exact same spot he was, but he's covered in gashes. This guy is heavily scorched.
No, it's fully fine.
But Jonathan, well, I mean, he had 16 HP, now has 13, so, you know.
Yeah, well, that's pretty weird.
10, 15, 20, jump, just no count there. 25, 30, 35.
Yeah, you're 35 makes it.
I mean, technically, going up to 20s is difficult to yeah, it is. Yeah, it'd be fun. Considering that, Jonathan is between squares because of how small he is, but I'm gonna actually put him next to
It doesn't need the fake on the ring, does it? Wow, Jonathan, how fucking useless can you be?
Yeah, I'll do it. If you can do more than 29 points of damage, you'll kill him.
15 points of physical damage and 6 fire damage.
23 though.
I know, it's garbage for laying in there.
I'm starting to think we're past this one.
He's stroking out of the ground, but he's still technically alive.
Seems like it. We need to get out of here because the demon upstairs is about to wake up.
That was the cultist's turn. He was, can't do anything now. The robot will make another. Sorry?
Robot is looking.
Moki, you take, I did it again, 8 plus 2, 10 points of damage.
Nice.
Bludgeoning. Slams you again.
Mine.
Top of the round, cultist on the top floor. Oscar.
Speak to me here, please. What is going on? Damn it.
You only feel that there is a kind of tug with your arm towards the room that you haven't accessed.
Oh my god, I believe in Santa Claus.
Alright, I'm going to... can I see into the room?
You can see the door isn't cracked open, but there is like a small, tiny slit in the door where you can see that there's red fabric, like a bed. You can see a bed visibly through a crack in the door, just by your proximity.
Yeah, so I'll run over to the door and I'm going to just try to punch it in.
Make an attack.
So that's a 21.
Easy. You're going to beat 20 damage right now.
Okay, let's see.
Oh shit, the door springs open because it's open.
No, it's locked. Just sure. It's always locked up.
The locked door has a crack in it.
2 plus 13, so 15 plus 6.
You beat the toughness.
You did it. 21 plus 10 electricity. And that thing fucking doesn't have any force.
You punch and you realize you snap the kind of the bearing pillar for your door, and then you realize the entire framework of the temple tilts in the forward direction that you attacked. So you punch a pillar and you're like, there's no way it was this. But the door falls downwards, inwards, and you notice that there is another door to your right. And that is the turn to Sebastian. So now you're in, we're going to my teleport. That's the way in.
Oh, I can totally kill Sebastian. You're also going to die. No, I wouldn't try. Would I try to kill Sebastian?
No. If I'm insane, I will attack whoever attacks me, and Sebastian.
You're going to try to die a little bit of time this whole time.
Oh, no, I'll fix him then.
I can't. I am so sorry. It's not working. I held too long.
Stabbing you, followed by Cicero and Loki.
I immediately lose all wisdom because I have 2 left and I can't. Yeah, lower than 2. I'm now permanently insane.
Confused. You're permanently confused as per the insanity.
Yeah, I'm confused.
So often you can attack other people.
It's like we've got a 25% chance of actually not going.
No, if I attack, I automatically attack whoever attacked me.
Wait, okay. This one overrides all the confusion.
So you got attacked right before you lost your wisdom. So you haven't been attacked while you're in this lack of wisdom state.
Oh, I'm just fully ignorant.
Which is good.
This overrides all the confusion status, meaning becoming a cute.
No, that's mental illness.
That's a mental illness. Yeah, this is
Different. This one can't be cute.
There's not a spell like
This man is collecting disabilities.
This is
not in the proper way.
This is considered a maddening riddle, so a madness effect, but it's not. It's not psychological. It's
I guess that's supernatural ability spell.
It's SU, so you get supernatural.
Damn it. Okay.
This is going to be
The super ability of a demon lord. You know, it's just
Okay, so first attack is that's my second attack. 16 points of concentration.
okay.
The second attack is my venom fang, which I do slash it over.
Alright.
I'll roll a quick attack because I got +20.
If you can do more than 10 damage, sorry, you've already done.
Yeah.
Remember, sneak
If you're hitting the guy, you're hitting the cultist that
Very clear again, easy pulls.
You're hitting the cultist that Jonathan's been healing.
Yes.
Cool. Alright, don't even worry about the rest of damage. He's fine. How do you crit this guy? What part of the body do you open up?
I stab him through the spine with my first attack, but that doesn't kill him away. I pull it out and I give it a wet and slash through the side of his
In
throat.
his moment of panic, he tries to crawl with his arms, and then you can see his hands start to fail to work as the spine damage really sets in, and then you just come down like a little phantom.
Well, that was the first one. That's what
Second one was the poison.
The dagger's going to be piercing or slashing.
You think that he probably might have lived, but this poison is doing the last few seconds of damage.
I didn't activate the poison out of this.
Damn it!
That's the second thing.
They're hard to go around it.
Well, remember, there is... Did you ever use the, Ray's Shiro, the dog?
No, it's not.
Oh, so you just haven't activated it.
It's a swift action. I set it into the poison and then it comes up.
Cool. Sorry, just thought it was a
I have 6 poisons in it, and the rest of them are spider venom. One of them is I still have a sleep potion.
I can't believe it's like a revolver with flies. It's like, it's just one thing. That's it. Just was made of mixing bars. It's like the Ben 10. The poison. Also, at the top of the round,
Yes.
you notice that.
Doors
Inside. But also, I want you to make me a religion check.
I love religion.
Is the demon about to wake up is actually gone?
No, that is a 24.
Oh man.
On the best. Do I get a plus from territorial?
The DC is 25, and specifically because of your background, I'll give you the advantage to put you to a 26.
Wow.
This is Sphinx for related informations. You know, as one girl boss Sphinx.
I have that one. She told me I was weak. Oh, yeah.
It says you're weak.
That's the secret you're looking for.
You killed it. An equal amount of people to me in this combat. That's pathetic. I just want you to know. Because no one else is fucking dying. It's only you and me. I'm fighting for my life. It's not a restaurant.
So I'm going to say, make another attack on the door. While
Also,
the
the door has been stopped.
How much damage does the door take? I rolled. Last time.
Oh, then last time. All right. Yeah, crap that bit for me. Thank you.
It's Oski.
24 physical and electricity. So that's it.
All right. You notice inside there is
These doors.
Another door.
you see hands wrapped in what looks like iron or silver coil. A gag over what looks like an early 20s woman. Eyes bright and wide, there's like a kind of cold silver like in her eyes, but you can see there's clearly a weakness. And there's this woman who looks like some sort of woman who would be working at an operating table, white garments with certain symbols and iconography over her body, which you're not exactly fond of. And then you catch a symbol that you haven't seen before, again, except in a book.
I love books.
You don't seem like him.
The only time you have ever been given the only time you've ever been given knowledge of a Sephra, which is a divine being blessed by gods. One person in the soul table knows any information other than that's Oscar. You knew that there were in the dark part of the timeline, we have the darkest timeline. There is something that Inspire held very close, and information she did not ever want people to know of. You was a warning, and it was a necessary telling that even Sephra aren't immune to the whims of dark beings. What she called her partner, connected through blood, was her first betrayal.
Right. Okay.
And became the first true chosen of the Dark God. Whoa. The Sphinx, the faceless Sphinx. And you're like, what is the name? It was a name that over time has changed. And now the only reason you remember it is because Inspires had to alter the law. So Aresh Gadol, the faceless Sphinx, could not be forgotten completely, because that was his intention. Her brother, but she called it her partner, blood-related, twins Sephra, one who chose a dark path. And it's the moment when you recognize that name, the faceless Sphinx. The books never said anything about it being alive, more than it was just a traitor. You hear from behind you, from the doorway that you came from, the first one you blow through, you hear this, which you think is structural. And then you feel the weight that was starting to tilt the top of the building down. You feel it just slightly kind of raise back up.
I'm lifting it over. Oh, it must be Cicero. He must be lifting the building.
As you notice the confronting event in front of you with a woman gagged and another woman looking at you with a kind of malicious aggression, stopping you stopping her from doing what she wanted to do.
Are you going to attack first or should I?
And then you need to make a fortitude save DC 17 for 6 rounds. This is wyvern poison. Or fail 1d4 con damage.
Okay.
Okay, poison is a one save, consecutive save?
For 6 rounds.
What's the save? What's the
You
initial?
want me to say it's frequency 1/round for 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Cure 2 consecutive saves.
Okay, so
You're right, that was what.
I'd be able to do that.
Poisons are really bad.
I've been told I'm good with the full saves.
They're better than Survivor.
Wait, oh, maybe that's true.
That's pretty bad.
And then she can also attack you because you're close enough.
You silly little.
That's 24 hits, that also hits, so another 4 save for me.
It's a third attack.
She gets 2.
In the mood. And you distracted her.
That's a 3. Oh, that's a 3 to 1, so that's only for 7 points of.
How many doses of this poison?
She's
Jesus.
2 doses.
Oh, so she's in both.
She's also got. She's got 2 followed by Jonathan.
So it's just my next is beating on.
He looked like he did attack Loki, yeah.
This is beating on Artie still.
Both the human and the robot, yeah.
Wait, the robot's here?
On the other side of Loki, yeah.
Oh, the big one.
Oh, the small one.
Yeah.
Alright,
The big one does not look like he's actively trying to fight anything.
I'm gonna walk around the god. Does he take an attack opportunity?
Yeah.
Pretty much get that through.
But your body's, I'm gonna say this is concealment 20% because your body's. I want that one! Doesn't matter. He passes through.
Jonathan acts like he didn't do anything. Jonathan didn't even register. He attacked him in full force pass.
You blinked and it was like you still stand.
You're going this way. Yes, you're gonna go in the water. Through Loki Square.
I'm gonna go to the machine and I'm gonna cast
You're in the water, okay.
Construct Gene. Very construct. So, making a full save. It's the construct.
Alright, sorry. Felix, the medium robot or the thing in the center?
Oh, that's construct as well.
I'm not telling you. Just asking which one you know for the construct, right? This guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you were in the water.
Direct construct.
Okay. And a full save, you said.
Yep.
I rolled a natural 2.
Yay.
Plus 9.
It loses. Tell us range, it's not even melee. How did I think this is?
So do you want me to move you back?
No, I already took the attack opportunity.
You did.
I'll just walk further away from it against them instead of going to the melee range.
You take the water route?
Alright, so the construct loses, gets a -4 strength penalty.
Okay.
So sorry, it's a -6 penalty.
Okay, so it has a -1 at its damage. I'm going to put it on the back as what he looks like, because now that he's been semi-soaked in water, here's what it's supposed to be.
Any damage reduction it has and any fast healing it has.
Like damage reduction including like fire and electricity?
It loses all damage reductions. It loses all of its fast healing. It has its base speed halved.
Okay.
Yep. And it lasts for 6 rounds.
Feel like you've ruined your own mind and you don't know how.
That influence left, my own mind left. So, completely feral, I fucking. I just attack whatever attack me.
Good. Hit the guards. This is a 17 AC.
Okay, 17 AC. Obviously, I'm going. You don't have power attack, never mind. He human, right?
He human.
Oh shit.
Racism bonus again.
Racism bonus.
Racism bonus. I still fail. That's a 15. That's a 16.
See justice.
Yeah. Okay. This is a full action
Oh,
attack.
you're flanking with Cicero. You do hit.
I hit.
Currently blinded.
Nice.
Weird God who just decided to wake up and do his job today.
18 damage.
Yeah, you slay him in one breath. You carve through his chest. I mean, he looked like he was maybe late 40s. Falls bloody back into the.
You don't know that attacking.
Only one that's attacking. Oh, sorry. All guys slapped you, so you do take your bleed damage. 6 points of bleed.
Yeah, and I also he attacked me, so I have to attack him.
And so did the robot here. So you can pick human or machine.
Human. Just inherent rate from the 30.
Totally get it.
Okay, let's do this.
It just works.
That's a +7. Natural 1.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I mean, I would love to think that would hit, but we're not going to hit.
I have to hit the dog.
Minus.
The annihilated pillars. Annihilated more.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I do want to say he has an 11 AC as a priest without a. Wow. Yeah, that does.
It's the second my attack.
Oh, yeah, it's Cicero as well. Yeah. It's okay. Followed by Cicero.
You gotta watch this.
Dude, this is
About to beat it.
I'm so excited to see Cicero.
I'm telling you,
Oh my god. And you're flanking.
So nice. Heal and
I think I moved through Cicero square.
this is 30. That's 35.
I do have 35
Nice.
Wow, they're gonna get a -2 this time. 24.
This is things in life.
Can you deal 32 points of damage in one round?
Yeah, 2 attacks in mine. I only one.
7, 13, 16,
Take him out of combat.
21, 27.
You slip a large gash where you think it will kill him, and like the guard that you had to take out a second, you had to really kill this one as an old man. Falls onto the floor. Kind of, he's still sitting. You can see he's sitting upright, clutching his throat, holding his throat tightly as it leaks with blood. But still alive, his eyes still blinking rapidly.
Those are 25 here.
Oh yeah.
26. 27.
21 is the AC.
We ran this dog for like 2 hours. I slaughtered like 20 people.
Three hours basically.
We triggered 9/11, and now we're triggering a fucking church shooting.
First one is a 27 to hit, and the second one is a crit, which confirms.
Oh shit.
So, first attack, I'm also going to do a stunning fist. So, roll.
It's the biggest I want.
It's an equipment, so I can use it.
You're 15.
So, roll a full save.
She's a very good full save.
She's
Very good.
very well. Let's see what. I always forget what stunning fist does. You're stunned, you drop everything you hold, you can't take actions, you lose your dex bonus to AC, you take a -2 to AC. That's anything else. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. You see a concealed holy symbol
Okay. What's your job?
that has a small bladed tip at the end of it. It looks almost identical to Jonathan's old golden symbol of a specific god that you're not sure why this woman in particular will worship a god like Farina, or as you know, Masora for Asma.
So, first attack for not the crit.
Nice.
27 physical damage. Plus 7 electric. Now the crit.
24, and she is not resistant to any of that.
That was a 34 damage total on that first one.
Whoa, okay.
Second one, no garbage. 11.
Let's see if she can live 2 rounds.
24. Fortunately, Benton doesn't crit. physical, plus an extra 3 electric.
So 34 again.
Yeah.
34. Okay, well, where do you stab her, and like what areas are you trying to inflict the most internal damage?
Is just doing a sort of X, one left arm and then to right arm.
And by that point, the wooden splinters have emerged enough, and you are just carving the wood remains off her and into her. As the sword is emerging, you can see she has.
Oh, also,
Yeah.
because I landed my stunning strike, she is shaken for 5 rounds.
Flush him away.
That's not good enough. Just saying,
I did my best.
He did wait like 2 more rounds before. He's like, I'm just not this thing working!
Go 13.
Really wants to get her get a kill. This is so funny.
I spent 3 rounds fixing his fucking.
Is this
This is felt like it.
Do it spell has power resistance?
Oh, sorry, let me switch it down.
DC 16.
He's 16, he fails.
Alright, so I am not affected.
So you don't kill next time.
That's Eric.
And because of Jonathan, its electrical resistance is gone, so now this creature doesn't take a -5 off that damage.
No resistance.
So the mechanical monster that hasn't been hurt at all from a single bit of damage is going to probably die. Okay, the average was 20. There, the full score. 23 points of damage against this Jake.
I don't think you need it.
So neighbor.
You just have nothing. You obliterated her one time.
The priest on the ground somehow succeeds. Still gets annihilated. And so
Double my health to her.
I'm really dead. And
Your turn. Their turn.
this creature is shot to the back wall. It has lost half of its limbs, and now the only thing that is nearly opposing Moki is probably Cicero or Jonathan, like in terms of close. Really gone.
Looks at the big orb.
Do electric dream.
It hasn't changed.
See the flowers of skulls.
Robots.
Different colors infused with that robot's energy. Jonathan turns to the thing in the middle, and you have to use construct dream
Again.
to steal from the big orb. See what happens.
So we'll say that. Okay.
What do you do?
This just does this technically just does some stat debuffs, but
Why would you do it?
I rolled a 9. I'm going to give it +5, so 14.
It's +4 if it has a magic resistance. And it doesn't get magic resistance, but it gets +4 if it does.
Yeah, go.
If you want to use that bonus.
You need spell resistance?
+4.
Yeah, so I'll just there
I'm
again.
going to say then that would put it to an 18 on its will save.
Okay. 18 is the DC.
So me and me.
So you don't immediately suck up all the divine energy in this artifact and completely destroy your mind.
You see broken in this corner here, there's a robot missing one arm. It's still technically like alive. This thing has literally been dusting the walls. Wheels turned in anti-motion, so switches itself around.
So, I act normally, but with 0 wisdom, I am completely without rational thought.
Yep, and you should get conscious.
What color is the crystal?
It's basically transparent, but it is opaque, so it has a kind of blur to it.
It looks like that.
And with the red, I was going to immediately attack it.
We got a red and blue right here, though.
There's right over there.
So we're cutting. We can attack the cut.
I attack the cut.
Nice.
I chop those cut and attack it.
You got 50 feet?
60 because I have all that movement.
60, yeah, you're within 5 feet of the code.
I'm at 0 with full compass.
Yeah. Oh no, because this thing said I go insane.
You are under the insanity condition, so you are confused. So you're not dead.
I know, there's 2 things that happen when you have 0 wisdom. You fall unconscious and you completely without rational thought. The fall unconscious doesn't negate everything I have. Instead of that, I'm just insane.
This is a condition.
Insane.
I think that's when you recover from the.
Yeah, I assumed it would be when you recover.
You recover, you're totally insane.
But it's permanent. It doesn't matter when he recovers. It's happening here.
Yeah, greater restoration gets rid of it, but that's never gonna happen.
Permanence is, it's only, it's just to stay.
I just fucking take this gun to my hands, burn the cold, and leave you next.
Basically over. We will go over the contested rules, over the technicality. You should be unconscious. The rage has kept you going. You're now in a state of kind of dizzying madness. Like you said, you've lost all inhibition. The idea of falling asleep and not waking up is actually pleasant to you as an idea. That's how far you've gotten to, like, if I fall asleep, I don't need to. It's a very suicidal mindset, but it's not forced on you. It's like a lull that has happened to you, lulling you, coaxing you into a type of idle obedience.
Idol worship.
Okay, this is soon.
I'm just attacking the thing.
Just attacking the
Plus 2 damage.
Alright. Loki. Cicero.
Nice.
I got that 20.
Well, you're.
Well, critical game. That too, never mind.
Oh, well, you still feel it. That's good.
Watch this. It takes 8 piercing damage and 3 fire damage.
8 piercing, 3 fire. It has 4 HP. You see, you've stabbed into the other arm. One arm is completely missing. Now you've stabbed in the other arm. You can see it's now just like an actual spasming robot wailing arm that's trying to return to the exact function it was doing before. It's a bladed arm. But you have stopped its function. This thing is seconds away from death.
Double stab.
It's gonna run. Who's next? Oh, God.
And they're all gone. Except for this one. Dusting the corner wall post.
Okay, you good?
You see where he just... You can hear him up here in the corner, staring for fabric. Like an enormous wall. I don't think I can.
Oh, damn. I just
Not without the item I used to have.
What a minor inconvenience.
If only I had caught up with my god.
If only I could hear this.
Robot is alive and now gets to face his sword. It will do a body slam. I rolled a 6.
Plus 13. Plus 5.
But then it's also lost both its arms, so maybe nice.
Plus less.
Yeah, let's just do plus 5. So 11 does miss. That's a 2. That's a 2. The cultists are dead except for the one that can attack Oscar, but it's stunned, right? So it can't do anything. So while it's stunned, let me just quickly describe the things that Oscar can see on its body. A few couple, not necessarily on its body, but around a few different interesting potions. On its body, you specifically see a ring that was very similar to the +1 ring that Ray wore, that you found a bunch of on top. One of those. You see this woman has some sort of it's a cloak that she's moved to the front of her body and uses kind of like a working bit.
Weird.
Definitely has some sort of weird, when it moves, it's not moving in a regular, natural fabric fashion. You see an ever-burning torch on the wall. Obviously the daggers and things that she had dropped / used into you.
What's the name look like?
The lady's short white hair. You mean the gag one? Or the gag one? Probably just dark brown hair, freckled face, black cloth in the mouth, silver kind of eyes. I'd say dark brown, basically black hair. The features aren't, they're not unlike a half-elf. A little bit more smooth. on some of the corners. So a little less elevated.
Investigator later.
You're also 100% sure you have seen a potion of invisibility that looks exactly like a bottle you see on the wall, and clearly a potion of healing that the temple might have supposed to give to the public, and you see it on a shelf here, probably for that exact purpose. Stop. You hear the groan in its body that tries to move, and the woman, and you still feel the ground beneath you is unstable.
I don't know what she's saying.
It's been a gag out.
Yeah, you know.
The cultist's turn, followed by Oscar.
2 attacks.
And that is enough. You see the delayed reaction as a part of her body just explodes onto the floor. Splat.
I'll take a 5 step. And second attack will go up to the chains.
Okay. There's like kind of silver cord that you realize it's like they've bent like an iron bar around her hands to hold it together. You slice right through. They're loose, but she still can't really like wiggle herself out. And she kind of holds her hands down. You separated it from a pole that was kind of holding her up at the back. And you see this whole machine that she's surrounded by looks like some sort of like human containment device. Something that you saw. This is jury-rigged for a human before you saw it meant for the medium-sized robots that were already done. Smokey, what do you want to do? I mean, roll on the confusion table.
Well, Murky is before me.
Sure, I will do that.
Sense. On the table. There you are.
52. I
roll 1d6 points.
I fucking call my face off.
Yeah.
So with the curtain that you had surrounded yourself with, that you had ripped into your own hands, you start to rip into your own flesh where that red fabric is left on your body.
Yes.
Definitely would be when he's bloodying himself for sure.
I mean, normally I will try my rage, but I think that's all I have.
Okay, Cicero, you watch where he starts carving to himself. What do you do?
As long as the body's letting me, I'll kill it. Alright, proceed.
You guys have me?
No, it's the robot. The robot that failed to body slam.
17 hit.
17 hits.
Hey, but that's it.
Come on, big man. You separate the lost circuitry and the shoulder muscle of that finger's limb, and then you just slide the dagger up the collarbone plate that seems to just be lined up perfectly to get to the neck area, and then you feel 3 strong cords give resistance, and then you carve through 3 of those, and the front of the helm slumps forward. Machine receptacle turns off.
Organics forever, bitch. Alright.
Material for life.
Material gal.
Material boy. Can you do anything to... Well, you can't. Oscar? Invisibility potion. What are you doing here?
It's just like got the choker still around her neck. I was trying to just, you're just trying to help a temple, do some jobs for them. This is the Avenue of Invention. Right on the outside of that, there's a lot of people around here that are looking for.
Are you a constructor?
Recently it's been helping afford holy symbols for temples and religious totems and that sort of thing.
Right.
We do a lot around here, and we are sponsored basically by the Church of the Pure Flame. I don't work for them technically, but the government sponsors them. They sponsor the people. It's been days. I don't know what. Thank you. I guess. Thank you. She has a lot of things here. We can thieves' tools. I'm gonna grab it. She starts to pull things. Okay, let's do this. It's a brown bottle.
It's not random shit.
He's having she's certainly fatigued because she probably hasn't eaten in a while.
Show me your hands.
Clearly, they've been tied down. You can see that the heavy was basically rub burns.
Just slightly help take off the rest of the molecules. While I'm doing that, I will pump a cure wounds into my arm.
You didn't have to do that. I don't think I'm really in it. Oh, wow, that was nice. Oh, I felt so weak before.
That's an extra 12.
Okay.
We should head downstairs. I'll talk in the way.
She grabs a light mace from the small rack of weapons, and you see that she definitely takes stock of some of the alchemical tools on the wall and just starts to try and put a few in her hand. Do you leave first, or do you wait for her to wait? Okay. As you both exit, and you walk out from the kind of bedroom space, I kind of fucking hated hearing that woman have sex. As you walk out of the corner, you realize that.
Is this thing still there?
Didn't work out, but okay.
Yes. Nothing I can do about it.
So.
You make your way downstairs. Cicero, as you're about to walk up the stairs, you hear Oscar take the first steps down after you see barefoot, weak legs.
He's way down there.
Jinx is gone.
Okay.
I think Oscar, you're noticing as you're curving down one ring of the stairs, you see Moki, the curtain that is beside him is just torn, sundered into 3 pieces. And then the ribbons of material on your body's everywhere. Blood in the water from the guard that's below you.
He's normally very light looking, he's just full red.
I think Oscar's pretty, yeah. I think Oscar's pretty.
Yes. I saw here. The roll of the table.
Yeah, this is the next round for sure.
68. I stopped for iron for it out.
The same thing, the red fabric that has been tatted on his body, he's just ripping it off, but you can see he's ripping chunks of flesh with it. From your height elevation, you can easily see all of the damage he's doing to himself, and it's clearly to himself.
How are we planning on doing that?
What the fuck is that?
It's just a centaur who's going insane. Yeah, that's sleep.
What do you want to say? Is it a beast or a man?
I act normally. I drop my rage, and I really will honest.
That's a perfect one.
I get a reroll against the willing that draining saves.
The will draining stopped the moment the demon lord left.
Wait, I was aggravative.
No.
In that case, my free ignore goes away, and I -3 wisdom.
It doesn't go that way, but yeah, you are at 0 wisdom. You are at 0. You can't. Yeah, I wouldn't say you can go into negatives because there's no restorative 3 points of wisdom at a time sort of thing. You will be rage or not. You will be negative wisdom basically, but not
That's right.
logistically.
Do you know anything about Sephiroth?
Yeah, I don't know about them.
Come on here. That's what did that to him. Looks like they've been worshipping one. Similar to Inspiris, but the opposite.
Yeah, cool. We just saw a church full of priests in the middle of the city. We can leave now.
We can do that. Yeah.
And Oscar, you notice that
I think we can kiss and teleport goodbye.
you see the two murals, the one that was visible and the one that wasn't. Now Rick has ripped the curtain away from that, and all you see is a black and white mural on a very dark and strange looking gnarled tree that is perfectly surrounding the moon. So visibly downstairs, that is the only two artworks that you can see. Working, not paying attention to that as he falls unconscious, and you hear...
Glad that we killed a bunch of cultists who were worshipping banished gods. And a demon, an evil Sephiroth.
Oh, I thought...
Basically nothing.
Yes, as long as you feel good about yourself.
You see a female move down the stairs ahead of Oscar, and the monkey is unconscious.
I am not strong enough to know Bucky. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna take group effort then. Oscar.
Jonathan, we should get the cart.
How many minutes are you?
My undead is bringing the cart.
Oh, I am.
2 seconds later.
Missing a wheel.
He's getting the cart.
Oh, there. It's 2,350 pounds.
It's so heavy.
Oh, you can't even drag that.
No.
You hear Jonathan request from you any religious items found in this place that aren't related to the Dark God.
What if they are those gods?
He would specifically ask for the non-Dark God stuff,
The only one I found was this one. I'll pass along to him.
and he replies, I'm not going to do his accent because I'll butcher it, but he says they are very similar in design to his faith.
Yep.
The woman in front is different. You suddenly see this kind of like this interesting black, almost anti-light. You see, for this object that is mostly wood but with streaks of gold through it, you see that there's this like almost faint black aura kind of reversed to yours that's kind of emanating the moment he touches it.
Can you do anything with that?
Yes, I think I can break the enchantment on Monkey. Maybe if it's an enchantment.
I'll give it a go.
And you see, as you guys are starting to have this conversation, you notice that quietly the dark-haired half-elf girl has moved over to Mickey. Just quietly next to him. I mean, you guys are active with like a small brutal lake at the other side of the temple wagon.
I found her tied up. I don't care. Okay. Well,
Where did you find him? She looks up at you guys.
he's
A centaur.
Monkey,
You know who he is?
I was the one who freed him.
In Krueler.
And that's where we'll end the episode.
Bigger they are, harder they fall.